Welcome, welcome. 1 second. Make sure that one. Let's see. Alright, chat. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We were going to be doing some ancient mythology today, but I ended up having a late start. My cat was sleeping in the chair, and he's been really kind of sick, and something's going on since he got back from the vet. So I just didn't want to disturb him. He's been having a hard time just even getting sleep, and hasn't been eating and drinking like he should, and this got me worried. So I ended up letting him chill. So I got started way later today than I anticipated, and the vet sadly won't be able to get him in until the beginning of the week. So I'm a little distracted. So I felt like I couldn't really get the energy I needed to do for Age of Mythology, and I don't want to waste that. So we'll save that for this weekend, for any single player things I need to do, and we're probably going to. What we're going to do is let me check my calendar real quick. Chat. I'm a little out of it. Thursdays today. So since tomorrow's Friday and I can't remember what James' day off is, we'll save Age of Mythology for this weekend for any filler of single players I might have to do, just in case James has to catch up on his, because he hasn't been able to do a lot of single players. So I'll just do that this weekend, and we'll start it earlier when I can get up a little earlier than I did today, and we'll go from there. But welcome everyone to the other game I have planned. This is even though I haven't won a game yet, technically, at all, this game is very hard to win. I played the tutorial several times. I kind of understand more of it now, and kind of get certain things and why certain strategies worked into some of the games I've played, and how the scoring works. Plus, also, I didn't realize I was correct when I was watching it, because it says in-game. A lot of these points on the board that you see it like on the side are like in-game points, but when you have live scoring turned on, it actually does go ahead and compensate and tell you what your score is now. So I did not know that. I didn't quite understand that I wasn't really doing anything, and I'll show you the scoring systems as we go forward in the game to play a little bit. Trying to think, what time is it? It's 5 now. The tutorial, if I wanted to show y'all the tutorial, would take about 15-20 minutes. And then we'd try to get a game now. We should try to get a game now. I'll just try to explain the best I can. When we play with James and Darius in the future, we can take more time with it. But for now, we're just going to try to get in a game. We're going to try to do a 4 game, which is about an hour, a little over an hour, which is just perfect. We'll probably only get to do 1 game today if we manage to find enough people for this table. But some people like fast-paced. I prefer normal. Gives a little bit more time. Fast-paced is if I was going to play with a bunch of hardcores, and I've already played this and won a bunch of games. At some point I will switch to that, but I think I'd rather stay on normal and hope we get some people. You see, now it wants me to drop to 2, but these are just things I can accept because these are other tables that are starting that need people. So I do appreciate that. That's something else I forgot to say that Premium slightly does. Is that when you, since you can start your own tables, you don't really see this because there's no point to this when you're looking for a table. It'll just give you notifications of when one's open, which there's a little bell that's normally, yeah, I use my mouse, normally like right here under this, if you don't have it already checked. That when you turn it on for this board game, it will let you know when you're looking for a table when one's popping open. And if your settings of what you might be wanting to find with a table is the table you're trying to join isn't exactly working, it'll do what it does for me, but slightly different, to show you there's other tables with slightly different settings, but similar to what you want. So, but welcome, everyone. This is just gonna be a chill stream, kind of like last night. We're not gonna be going as long because I haven't eaten already yet. We'll probably be going for an hour to an hour and a half at best. Most of the time will be spent looking for our 4 people we need, and then playing the match and getting through it, win or lose. Because I don't really care if I lose in this for a while, because I want to learn it more and more. And with board games, it's just, it's an over the time thing. Like, I've watched that tutorial twice. I now understand what I did wrong on the first one I did after the tutorial. I didn't realize, because I didn't understand how to read the popularity slash population track here. Or popularity track here is that the more popularity you have, which you lose popularity if you have to force, if you have to force like another player's workers off of a tile back to their home base. This, for every worker you make retreat that way, you lose popularity. And popularity is, you don't need it to win, to be fair, technically. It's just one of the many ways that if you're good at mid-maxing your popularity while being aggressive, you can technically get a lot of points out of it. Because every 2 resources in the beginning is a single point, a victory point. And once you acquire those 2 resources, you get that victory point. You don't lose it if you lose the resources. Now, coins, the thing you use to buy stuff and do different actions in some cases, which you'll see, coins are directly related to your score. If you pay coins, you lose a little bit of score, victory points, because coins are the easiest thing to get back. So they are the main source, technically, of, depending on your style or whatever strategy you're going for to try to win, of getting those points and getting that victory. However, once again, if you have good popularity, you can rely less on money and more on your tiles and your resources and completing objectives. Because if you go the popularity strategy and you get up to, I'm going to highlight it, y'all can't see it because it's a tiny board on this game, but if you get up to this, where my mouse is right there, the top of that track, and I'll show it when we start, you'll get like 4 points each for each of your tiles you have a worker or a mech or your character on that puts it into your control. That's 4 points for each of these little tiles if you can get back like up here to the top levels of popularity. Now, if you max it out to 18 popularity, you also complete an objective. And objectives are worth like 5 points each or something like that right here on this larger one for each of these you complete. And the game ends, by the way, when it's the first player to reach completing 6 of these. So when someone completes 6 objectives, the game ends. And then whoever has the highest victory points wins. So we may have to drop down to 3. I want a game of 4 people, but I do feel like it's without Darius and James to fill one of those slots that we're looking for only 1 random. It's gonna be kind of hard. Now, the first game, when we all three do it together, I'm just gonna have us just be us, because this game is it's nowhere near as complicated as like Wingspan was, or some of the other games that we've played. But it looks complicated looking at that screen that's being played in that little demo of a game, because you're probably looking at like all this and right here and all this, and it's like different little panels with little all kinds of icons on it. I'll explain what those technically are as we go forward, if we can get a game going. We wait. Now we wait, Jet. Hold on, let me turn. Let's see what other music is. There we go. What do we got? Oh, real time, fast paced. Join a table faster by adding flexibility to your settings. Do I want to join a 3 with fast-paced real-time? I don't know. I don't see live scoring on this one. I wonder if it would say live scoring. I wonder if the scoring's hidden in this one. Nah. That's the one I was looking at. Yeah, that was just fast, but no other settings are turned differently, so... Nah. No, I don't want... Wait. Oh, that's mine. Come on, do we need one more person? Why did it say fast-paced down here? Well, they joined mine. We need one more person. Come on. This is where we need Darius. Fill that gap so we can have that last person. Come on, hurry up and get me somebody so they don't leave. Although they're waiting for someone on their table too, technically. Oh, they left. Alright, we'll wait a little bit longer, then we're gonna dump it down to a 3, just so we can get a game on stream. The thing is, what's funny is they don't realize, like, you can sit in here and just wait for your own as well. So that other host, if he had had someone join his before mine, they could have just gone and done theirs. Which might have been what happened, to be fair. 'Cause you can't tell if they left or if that's what it was. I'm assuming they found someone on their end. We got unlucky and they ended up joining that one. We may have to do 3. Yo, Sealy, welcome, welcome. Hello, Adnot. What are you doing to... Yeah, I was supposed to be doing that today, but it didn't work out that way because my cat ended up sleeping in my chair apparently this morning, and he's been really in rough shape. I don't know what's going on. It happened. He's been like this since he came back from the vet. I don't know if he's had some sort of weird reaction or something to the sedation he had to take and all that to get his teeth worked on and all that. He's just been like, I don't know what the right word, lethargic, kind of like basically almost detached. It takes him a long time to like move and figure out what he's doing. And I'm not really sure. And he was just... He hasn't been able to get much sleep. He's been moving around barely here and there, so I didn't want to disturb him too much. So I end up getting up really late. Kind of like disoriented. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it too. That's a oh, that guy left. Might not be able to do 4. That's another thing about starting late with BGA. Is some games it's hard to get a full 4 lobby without extra people, because it takes so long to find them that people leave before you can finish it. So let's try for a 3. Let's cancel for a second. Let's try for a 3 for. See if we can get a 3 for in here. But yeah, I know. So I'm a little out of it. Plus, the vet's not gonna be able to see him till Monday, because we called. So they're not gonna be able to get him in before the weekend. So he's got to be like this the entire weekend. So my brain's just I'm a little disconnected myself now. So that's why I didn't have the energy to do Age of Mythology. We're gonna try to do it this weekend, but I've got to also talk to James to see when his day off is to determine when multiplayer is going to happen. So, see what happens. What about James? No, today's Thursday. I don't think I'm pretty sure it'd be Friday. Usually he doesn't get, or at least every now and then maybe, but he's not usually off on Thursdays unless he's already gotten the days before that entire week. Usually ends up falling around Mondays. Ours is like either Monday, Tuesdays, or somewhere on the weekends. It seems to be average. Alright, we got one person. Come on, one more. That's all we need. That's why I went down for 2 or 3 for. I just think this game's kind of. With just 2 people, I could do a 2 and guarantee we get a game. But a 1v1 in this game, which is kind of weird. Because there's just so many tiles we both can get, it just becomes about whoever just grabs the most tiles first. And plays the popularity game, so it's not as exciting. At least with 3 people, anything can kind of happen. I want a 4 game person though. Now, if it was Darius and James with just us 3, it'd be different. There we go. Now we get to play. Accept. Also, I noticed there's a lot of people that play from different parts of the world around on this game, which is cool. So people must really know about this site across the world. Alright, who's first? Okay, so we're completely random. I ended up with the Vikings. Okay. Well, that's at least one advantage I have already. So what's our objectives? Control the... Okay, that's only 2 points. That's pointless. 21. Okay. Control at least tokens of the same resource at the end of your turn. Oh, okay. So we definitely want to go there first. Yep. Kind of figured. That's kind of what most people do on their first turn. I'm not going to be able to sadly do that. Ooh, everybody going for that produce first. But I'm going to go... Okay, so let me try to explain just real quick. This is the popularity tab I talked about. The more popularity you have, as you get up brackets, your scoring for different things gets higher. Every 2 resources becomes from 1 to 2. Every tile you control becomes from 2 to 3. Every objective you complete at the top becomes 3 to 4, and then the 5. The first person to complete 6 objectives ends the game, and whoever has the most victory points wins. Okay, so we need to move you here. And then we need... Do I want to mech early? We're going for having more resources, so yeah, probably. Confirm. Yeah, I have an idea. You know what I probably... that's a strat. You know what I could have done? I could have done this and had 4 workers right out the gate. Maybe. I don't get to play this as much because it takes so long to play games. I love this game. I'm wondering if the Steam version's a little more consistent. I'm gonna be picking it up and seeing if it's easier to get a game on that version. And if it is, as a gift to James and Darius for helping out a lot of times, I'm gonna get them Scythe next month as well. Just so we can all play it on Steam instead. Unless they prefer this version. We're gonna play this version first and see how they like it first. But so we need to produce. We need that. And then we confirm. He's going for mechs already. So what did he go for? He went for speed. Okay. That means that's actually kind of bad. Can they cross water? You can choose the same section on your player mat as... Oh, that's cool. Do they have a tunnel? They don't. So that's kind of a silly... That was a silly move. Okay. At least in my opinion. Alright, so... We need to... I'm thinking. Ours is trade and deploy. Let's do that. So play 1 gold for 2 resources. So we're going to click that. There. That. There. And then we're going to confirm that. Because I'm going to move next turn. Because see, I do want speed. Because my mech can be deployed here and move everyone this way. Because I control this already. Because my workers, let me show that real quick. Every faction has a passive. Oh, they're doing an event. I'll show what that is when we do it. So they get to choose from one of these 3. I forget who it is. I think it's this one that technically gets 2. Like you can choose 2 different outcomes, basically. Oh, he's moving resources around. So he did an upgrade. Okay, so he's trying to enlist already. Alright. So what we need to do is we need to move. And we need you there. I need to move you down for next time I can move. Okay. Because you have to have a mech with river walk for you to use your mech to transport your troops across rivers like this. Or like this. This is lake tiles. This is seaworthy mechs need to go through here. Which maybe I want that first. That gives me access to the factory. Because we're Viking, I can get there quicker than anybody. And choose an extra mat. Right out the gate. Ooh, I'm not sure. Okay, so... let's see. So, we can't move again. By the way, you can't select the same map twice, I guess, unless you're this one. Unless you're this faction. That's their passive, apparently. So, we need a mech. So, we need to do this. We need to trade again. We need to do this again. We're gonna get, it takes 4. So, we need 1 metal. And I'm gonna... What do I want to work towards? We don't need much oil to upgrade, so let's get an oil. And now we want to deploy. We need to deploy. Factory or speed? Factory or speed? I'm gonna say factory. Now, we don't want to put our mech down here. We actually want our mech up. Up here. You want to confirm. And the reason why that is this is where my troops are going to come from. I can just take the mech and transport mass numbers of troops and drop them off in places. This is going to be my more aggressive mech. I'm going to create another one that's river walking that's going to be over here. And we're going to go that way. Actually, I'm going to have a worker go that way first. Because the workers don't need mechs to cross rivers. The mech is kind of just an aggressor for me. So that's the wolf down here. They made a choice. They gained popularity. You'll note our score goes up and down. That's because we're spending resources in certain things, and that makes it go away to a certain extent. So, we have the highest popularity and power right now. So let's do... We don't have enough oil yet. Let's do another produce action. And we're going to want to... We can confirm only 2 right now. So we don't want metal. We want this and we want this. Because these little icons represent how many resource tiles you can tap before producing. So I can only do 2 right now. So let's produce another meeple and some oil. So we can go for the upgrade and move next turn. We can't build anything. We don't have wood. Although we probably, you're gonna note what I'm gonna do with this upgrade to make that easier. Although enlisting gives us more coins. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So he's trying to go for that way. Alright, so we need to be careful with that. We might want to consider not fighting him if we don't want to have to. So he captured a tunnel. That's going to take him to the oil. That might be why he's going there. So we definitely have to do a move and upgrade. So now I kind of wish I went speed first, because then we could have gotten our mech down quicker, I guess you could say. But oh well. I think we're still okay overall. We're all about the same points. Red spent a lot there, so here's the thing about being too aggressive, unless you're going to attack me. Is because they're spending hyper amounts of coins. See, they have 0 coins, so look how much their score has dropped. Right now, the black player is doing the best because he's got 4 metal here, so that's 2 points. 3 oil here, so that's 1 point. He's got 8 coins stored up, unlike me, which is what I need to work towards next. So we need to move and upgrade is what we need to do. So first, player icon needs to go here. So we get our event. And then, because I've already got the oil, We need to go for wood. Let's go here. We'll move the oil with us. You can use workers to move resources. We don't want it to get attacked, so we're going to move it to that side. Just in case Red gets a little uppity with me. And then that's end all moves. Now we get to see our event card. So we can gain 2 power and 1 popularity. That's actually really good right now. These that'll put me almost 2 brackets away from upgrading how much points I'm getting from things. And it gives me a bunch of power so that'd be less likely that Red attacks us. We could pay 2 money, which I can't afford. We cannot go for that. We could pay 2 popularity and tank our popularity to build a free structure, which I don't think that's worth it either. I think we need this. We need that 2 power and we need that popularity because I want to make sure that Red realizes going after me might be a bit costly. So now we want to pay 2. We'll gain a coin back for that victory point. And now we want to upgrade. So what we want to upgrade here, I'm thinking, we want to reduce the cost here, or here. We can't get food right now. We might lose this farm. I'm not really sure yet. I'm going to see what he does on his turn. So I think what we want to do is reduce wood. But what do we want to make more profitable? If we do this, I can keep making meeples and iron and wood. I think we want this. And then we want to move it down, because that's only 3 already. Although, in a single trade, I could do this next turn. And it would bolster me too. Yeah, because we don't have enough wood right now, and we can make we'll start making oil pretty quick. Let's reduce how much food we need to enlist, because that'll give us a bunch of coins. All right. They must have something that when I do an enlist, it gains. I think enlist forces them to gain a free power, but or an upgrade and forces them to do something or something like that. So some things I'm still learning, like the effects of certain factions and boards and what they have. So right there, so you can tell. Okay, yeah. So Red got a power. Let me end my turn. Red got a power upgrade because he enlisted and is now gaining power every time I move and upgrade, or every time I upgrade something. It looked like you have that too. I don't know. It's hard to tell on this. It looks like he removed this, so I assume he has that too. Just let's look at ours and look at the difference. See, ours is covered up. So I assume they both have it. They do. So that's why they both got power. Because they've uncovered this little point, it means when one of your enemies does this, one of these actions, if these are uncovered, the other player gets this. Now, it's also when you do it, too. But I'm not enlisted yet, so I got no benefit from that. Ironically, that means that's what we want when we enlist, so we keep up. This is the power scale. So they're both at 5 now. Okay, so now I want... But we'd have to do it next turn. We cannot deploy... that's actually not great. We basically want to We might have to produce. Yeah, we have to produce. And we'll get 2 meeples this time. Okay. It does mean now I have to pay popularity and power to use the produce icon, but we're going to produce a lot more turn here soon. I might be playing this a little too hard into the population track right now, but we'll have to see. It means we need to trade, then bolster. We've got enough popularity that I can afford to lose one right now. But the power I can't afford. We're all at 5. Blue is kind of hard to see on the board. It really is. I agree, yeah. Does the full screen mode help with that? Hold on. Not really. I can technically zoom in if you want. We don't need to worry about these 2 players down here. We only need to see these guys here. So, I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Because these 2 players, no one's playing these 2 factions down here, or these 2. So. Alright, so he's doing pretty good. The player at the bottom left is doing better at min-maxing his resources. My popularity is still the grander one. Okay, so we got to really think about this. Trade a coin for 2 resources, but we are going to have to spend those resources because we have to bolster and do this. So that way, when we make upgrades, we're staying ahead of everyone in power. Because upgrades are going to be our biggest thing, I think, to guarantee... So what is this again? Control at least 9 tokens of the same resource by the end. Yeah, I need to complete that. We don't have oil, so this seems like a pretty good zoom out. Let me know if that's not enough to see the colors. We have to enlist. This might be not the right choice, but I'm still learning this game and what looks more efficient and what doesn't. So we need food. Because we can't get food, we need food. Food it is. We'll stay at the same victory points because we'll have 2 food to make up for the coin I spent. So we need that. Yeah, confirm. Ooh, this is gonna be a close match. At least I know how to play it better now. So he just got a bunch. He's went up to 13 with me. He got a bunch of oil, but he spent the oil and he's upgrading. Yeah, upgrading match. But he got coins to replace it. So that's what you want to do. Because every 2 resources gives you 1 score point. If you're going to change these, try to do something that's like this. That's going to give you coins back for it. So for 1 victory point, essentially, for those 2 food I'm going to spend, I'm going to get 3 victory points / coins back. So now we do this. We want to, so we're going to pay 1, get 2 power to make sure I am staying up there, plus I have to pay for it when I want to produce. Now we pay 2 food, we gain an enlist, and we want to select this, and we want 2 power from it. I want to make sure Red knows not to test my borders. I'm not going to attack him. I have no reason to. I could technically get the points by stealing his wood, but we'd tank our popularity because we'd have to send 3 workers home in retreat, which costs you popularity because you're not supposed to attack workers. Now, this faction can get a mech that ignores that, but they're not on the board, so no one can do that. Alright, so now I want... Let's confirm that, because we're going to have to move. We're going to have to produce next turn. Actually, no, we got to move. We need that factory. I just hope Red doesn't go for it. Actually, no, he can't. He doesn't have seaworthy. I can. So they just bolstered? Yeah, chose to bolster and build section. So their bolster is not... See, and you'll notice everyone's pads are a little different. You'll note the tops and bottoms of everyone's things is different. That's completely random because of my settings. You have to plan for your strategies using that. So his bolster... So this is what the bolster is. This is getting power or getting a combat card. Both contribute to combat. Woo! I am so glad that you are not next to me, sir. He just skyrocketed in points. Plus, he just got 11 power. What did he do? He chose to bolster. He gets bolster and deploy. So he can bolster and deploy a mech with his setup. Pays 1 for 3. Pays 3 for 3. He deployed another mech. So he gained, that's why he shot up. Because he gained 3 straight coins. Okay. Because he's at 13 coins. He's been stacking. He's not winning in the resource game right now, which is kind of good for me. He did kind of match me in power there. So what we need to do now is we need to move and upgrade. So here's where... Yeah, you need to go here. No resources with you. And I need to take a worker from here to here. Okay. So. Ooh, we're all really close in points right now. This is also why I need the factory. The factory counts as 3 territories. So each of these is 1 territory. And right now, 1 territory costs 2 victory points if you own it. So if we can get to this, not only will we get another pad to play with, of our choosing, in our action board. Ooh, building buildings, huh? Everyone's so close-knit. I'm 18, Red's 19, the black player's 20. Oh, so that's dangerous. So, okay. I'm not in danger from that right now. But Red is. Red only has 9. The black player has 11 power with 4 combat cards. Combat cards also make up for power usage. So, oof. Thank God, though, once again, when someone uses the move and upgrade action now, or the upgrade action now, I get power for free. So we're evening it up. We're all kind of really close to each other right now. This is the closest match I've ever seen. So, I can't move again, so my character has to go for the factory next turn. I'm gonna have to pay, ooh. But I have to pay a, what's it called? Do we have food? No. So I need more points. We need the victory points to make up for it, because I'm gonna have to bolster again. So producing is actually not working out for me right now. So we're gonna do it this one turn, because we'll get to have at least 3. So let's produce. We're gonna want that. Actually, no, hold on. We need another mech. We're gonna want that, and that's it. And that's going to confirm. Now we're gonna have to pay 1 popularity and 1 power, because I've deployed so many troops. And that will produce that. And then we're going to confirm. Puts me at 19. We need so much metal, but that's what I'm planning on doing here soon is something interesting that will hopefully make up for it. It will probably get me attacked though. So I'm thinking maybe I should bolster unless red moves or black moves towards the factory. See, they're deploying another mech. So what has red got? They're ahead of me. Both of them are ahead of me in mechs a little bit. Red's got the most mechs. So red now has Riverwalk. What's People's Army do? In combat where you have at least 1 worker, you may pay 1 additional combat card. Ooh! You still require a character or mech to participate in the combat. For example, if you have 2 mechs and 3 workers in combat, you may pay 3 combat cards. 1 for each of the mechs and 1 because you have at least 1 worker. Okay, so it doesn't stack. Ooh, he just paid power. What did he do? Paid 1 power to produce... because he's got a lot of people now as well. And he got his popularity up. Enlist a new recruit and gain... Oh, whoa, you gain popularity from enlisting? What the hell? Where's your enlist? How did you do that? Enlist a new recruit and gains 2 popularity. How did he do that? Maybe someone else built on this? I'm not sure. Because the enlist is beneath his produce action, which he chose to produce an enlist. He paid 1 to produce that. Paid 2 to gain 2 food. Wait. Oh. To gain 2... Paid 2 to... No, paid 2 food, gained 2 coin. And then enlisted... Oh, wait. You get... That's right. Don't you get... I think you get a benefit right out the gate. I think that's what happens. Okay, so what we need then... We need to bolster as well. Because we've... Well, wait. We don't have the food. So we need to trade. And then see what they do next turn. So we need to pay a coin. And we need to get food. We're going to keep our stuff back here because this is the furthest away from both of them. Because they can take your resources if they take your tile. So we're going to do that. Because right now I feel like I need to enlist again. And bolster. I'm also behind in points a little bit. I forget how you tell how many turns are left in this game. Or is it just only this? I think it's only this. Ooh! Red just completed an objective. I hate when it does that. Oh, come on now. It's because it's someone else's turn. But Red's got low popularity, so he's only getting 3 points for that objective. Yeah, there we go. And by the way, we're blue. If anyone wants to know if you're not sure what color we are the blue faction. Our enemies are the red and the black faction. Alright, nice. I got some power for that. Okay. He's at 24. We're kind of staying pretty close. I'm about to kind of do the same thing in a way. I think I'll be a little behind them, but I need to worry about my objective. They haven't finished any of their objectives yet, it seems. So let's bolster and enlist, since we got food. Let's pay 1, gain power. And then pay 2 food, gain 3. Take me back into 20. And then choose a section. I want... So you still got to enlist. What is his most lucrative thing he's going for? So building and deploying mechs is yours. You haven't upgraded at all. Oh no. Okay, deploying mechs is yours. So the black faction is getting the most coin victory points from building mechs. And red is getting it from building buildings. So red's not going to build another mech. Black has actually got a lot of mechs already now though. He only needs 1 more. So I'm thinking structures. Nobody has hardly any structures except red. And they're probably going to build another one. And black has yet to build any. Although he has no wood. Ooh. Then maybe what I want is because how many enlists do both of them have? You have one. You have two. But you don't get a lot of coins from it. I'm just gonna put it on structure since we're gonna. Actually, we want to benefit from it, right? So let's just put it on our enlist and get more out of it. Okay, so enlist. And we're gonna gain. We could gain 2 more coins and just max it out. What's my popularity? Ooh. Black is trying to beat me out in popularity now. Let's gain 2 popularity every time that happens. Or no, gain 2 popularity now, and now we're gonna get a combat card every time someone enlists. That's pretty good. So, confirm. And that gave us our popularity back to pay for another produce action when we need it. And our power, except for against black faction, is about even. He's up to 15 now. I think he's trying to go, yeah, he's trying to go for this objective. Ah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Urge the Oh, sorry, it wasn't my objective, my brain thought I was doing that. So I gave him some popularity back. He's producing and enlisting, which is producing a list. Yeah, that's one of his better things. He's trying to enlist again, but that means I should get a combat card if he does this. Yeah, nice. I got a 4 on that one. Yes. That's really good. Okay, so. Do we have oil? Not quite. Pay the 1 power and the 1 popularity to get some more oil for upgrading and more metal for the next mech. No, you know what? I want to see. Let's take chances. Let's take chances, Chad. Let's take chances. To the factory, because that's worth 3 points. That will take me to 24. And then I'm going to move one of you to food to guarantee we have that. End all moves. Confirm the factory choice. So we can pay 1 power, get 2 popularity. That's really good. Pay 1 popularity, do an enlist, or I'm not sure what this other action is. Enlist a recruit or perform an upgrade. Whoa. That's really good. Or pay that, get 3 resources. Ah, yeah. Shit. That's... Oh, but we need this. Because remember, chat, we're trying to go for our objective. This is most important. Go that. Okay. So let's confirm that. Because the combat cards are less useful to me until someone tries to go from me. This will guarantee my objective finish. So that put me in tied for second. Yo, welcome Foz here. Welcome, welcome. They're both going for that like power objective. We're all kind of building up power evenly right now. Choosing to build a building. Maybe I should have went with that. What would that have done? Popularity each time. But here's the thing. Now when I enlist again, I can now gain a free card to pay into this that gives me the resources. So you see what I did there. So I'll get coins. I'll get a free combat card to spend towards gaming resource system to try to complete our secret objective. I could steal the resources, technically, from Red, but Red and I are too even in power, and everyone's kind of trucking into the power game right now. Bears! I do love these pictures. These little art style pictures are really awesome. I love the personality in these. Like, you can only imagine this scene, right? It's two of the faction like warriors with their cavalry bear with them, talking to some lady on the farm. Currently home alone. Uh-oh, what's going on, Farsuit? Or did Darius go out to get food? Did you send him out from old Wendy's? Oh, yay! I gained power from that. Okay. I'm getting a little nervous here with how much power everybody building. But we don't have food. We need to pay our okay. So we don't have to pay popularity and power because we're in a very desperate situation. We're going to pay a factory card. We're going to use that. We're going to pay one. Do I get to choose? I do. So I have a 3 card to pay. I'd rather pay the 3 card than the 4 card because the 4 card is going to be more likely to be useful to defend myself. So that's going to be that, and we need to gain 3. We need this. And we need to upgrade. Wait, we can only choose 1. Huh? You must choose how to gain 3 resources. Oh, okay. Hold on. I see. So we want 2 food and oil. 2 food, oil. Go over there. You may move a unit. Okay, good. Then we're gonna want to move a unit here. End all moves. Because food is our most important thing right now. Oh, I didn't confirm. I wish that was the case. Uh-oh. What's going on then? Is everything okay? Hope everything's alright. Did he just have to go get groceries or something? Or what's going on? But yeah, if you're wondering, ooh, that was he's going for the objectives. I see. To be fair, I don't really care about that, so he can have that. I'm not going to start fights over stuff I do not care about. You don't want to do that in this game. That can cost you pretty quickly. And we're kind of trailing on the points right now. But here's the thing. What they don't realize is as long, right now, because since this is live scoring, I can see what they have. Right now, since they've completed no missions, as long as I get this, we win. So far. Even though they're at 30, I'll be at 40. As long as I keep building my number in the background, I'll stay ahead of them if I complete that mission, which is our main objective. Which we've got to keep an eye up here, make sure we don't lose track of how many objectives have been completed. Because the more people that complete objectives, the more chances the game's going to end soon. So... There's another thing he's doing that I'm not doing that I should be doing, is I really need to get another mech up and running so I can control territories. Where'd his character go? Wait, what? What did he hear? What just happened? Wait, did he change his mind? Oh, he changed it, I think. Yeah, he restarted turn a couple times. He decided that wasn't a good idea. I wasn't good. Maybe he was afraid I was going to fight him on it. I wasn't going to. The objective is cool, but unless I was playing this faction, these objectives are kind of to me right now. They won't get me. Oof. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. So Blue just skyrocketed. Did he complete a mission? I don't see a revealed mission. So he just gained. What did he do? So let's look at his turn. He chose to produce and enlist. He paid 1 power to produce. Wow. Oh, right, because he's got double workers on double things. So he's going for points that way. He now has, yeah, 2 points here as well. So he did that. He paid 2 of the food, gained 2 straight coins, which is worth more points. Then he enlisted and recruited, gained 2 more coins. So that's 4 victory points. And then gains a star. Oh, and he completed the doing the most enlisting. He's uncovered all of his enlisting points. He did give me a card to pay for resources, though, thankfully. So he gained a victory point here, which that is... Ooh, he's in the second bracket now. So he's getting 4 points for victory points, or objectives. 3 points each for his territories. 2 victory points for every 2 resources he has. So that means these are actually now worth 4 points. I see what he did. Wow, that's why he went up so fast. See, that's what can happen. So we need to get moving. So, alright, our next step here. I think we need to bolster again. Because we need straight coins now to try to make up for the issue. So let's... If I do that, at least I would get 2 more points for another tile there. And do I have oil? I could upgrade. I could get a coin from that. Because we need our... I don't know if that's really worth it. I would have to pay power right now on this because we can't use this yet. So right for the moment, I think we do this. I think we use our food, we bolster, we get more points that way. So we want to pay... We've got a card to throw away right now, so we want to pay for power, straight power. Okay. That gets us to 15, putting us we're better over them. Oh god. Pay, do that, do that, do that, do that. Quick, they're gonna do that, and then I want to do that one. I want to choose the immediate bonus, that. Okay. That got me the most. Okay. Alright, we're back into winning again at the moment. As long as they don't complete any missions. Sorry, sometimes you gotta think fast, and my brain was... When I'm talking and playing this game at the same time, it's hard to be a little faster. See, 3 objectives have been completed. Okay. So, if 3 more get completed, this game ends. And I will currently lose. Oh, we need to get that objective. So we need to worry about producing. That's why I wanted to get some extra power to pay into it with popularity and stuff. Although, no, we have a card. I have a better idea. So... Ooh, 2 more objectives complete in the oh god, 1 more objective completes and it ends. Uh-oh! Tis might be a problem. I think we need to use this factory card. And we'll get to move 1 person somewhere twice. So let's pay 1 factory card, or 1 battle card. Let's pay our twofer. Confirm. Alright, let's go for... He can't get to me right here, so I'm gonna put him right here. And we just need resources, so... Give me 2 food again, so we can bolster again, and give me more oil. Confirm. Okay. So how does it work? Is it on one tile? Control at least 9 tokens of the same resources at the end, yeah. So that's why I'm building up the oil. It's gonna be quite crazy. We're gonna have to... Ooh, we might have screwed this up. This might cost me. Now we need to move a unit, so let's move... We don't need to produce any more people anymore. So we just want to leave our mech there to control it. And we need to move... here. And then confirm. Okay. Whoa, pays 1 power, 1 produces 4. Whoa! Yeah, he's got heavy worker stuff going on. Ah, shoot. Currently right now, we're barely ahead of this one. If we can complete our objective, that is. So we need to do because we're getting to do this basically back to back, now we gotta spam this. We need to do a produce next, then this again, and throw our 2 away. It's gonna be a close one. Because each little resource is also going to get me victory points as well. Not much, but it'll help me keep ticking up towards that points I need to stay just enough to get the end victory if I can get enough resources on the board of the same type. So we're only going to be focusing metal and food. I think what I'm going to do is now the produce action is going to go towards the bolster action. And this is going to just spank in the metal. Actually, we already have 3 oil. We're ahead in oil already. Oh, that needs to be... Oh, but I don't have... There's enough people to do that with oil. So we're going to have to do metal. We're not going to make it... We're just going to have to give up on making another mech. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh! Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Oh. Black faction is going for some sort of MVP throw. Oh, wait. That might be it, actually. I can't remember if one faction has to complete 6 or if all of us... I think... Because I completed this, I actually think it's one faction has to get 6. So, red and black both have 3. So they need 3 more, I think, to end it. Black is working on his 4th one right now if he wins. He won. Okay. Oh, but that completed an objective. Ah, crap. What was it? Oh, it was only worth 6. Ooh, but look how many points he got. Ooh. It's because he took his tile. Yeah, because he's getting 3 victory points per tile. Ooh, okay. It's funny because now maybe I should... Ooh. I'm sorry to do this to red, but partially, maybe I'm thinking I may have to attack red. How many cards does red have? 3. If he has a 5, he could beat me. Ooh, 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 okay. That's, less than ideal. Ooh, buddy. This might be a problem. See, the risky MVP strat is to do this. Hit this. This gives me 6 food. So if I produce and do nothing but food, or if I do this next turn, I would get the victory there. Because he'd have to come back up and attack me. But he does have a mech to do that. But I think he can only move once, so he wouldn't be able to get back up there in time. I'd lose a ton of popularity, though. Oh, God. I'm just gonna produce. I'm just gonna produce. We're gonna produce here. We're gonna produce here. I'm gonna produce there. Do it. Oh, buddy. And then we must confirm. Okay, so it won't be enough unless I can get to 47 or 48. We need another tile is what we need. So I've produced enough food. Or metal. That's all the metal I can do. Metal's not going to get it to us. Food's going to win it. So, we need to move. Ooh. Ooh, I don't have a spot unless I go for that wood, I think. See, I'm easily beating red right now. But I'm not beating the black faction. I'll be in second right now. So we need to move a worker. Oh, this is going to be a close one. So we need to move a worker from metal to that wood slot across the river. Just to get 2 extra points there. Oh, crap. Oh, wait, what? Oh, he completed 2 more objectives. No! Alright, second place it is. Oh, no, wait, we'll be in third now, won't we? Ah, we might have just lost. Damn. You know what sucks? I need to look at... I wonder if it'll let me look at the Black Faction's passive. I think it's their passive that makes them really good at fighting. So that he got hyper aggressive. So... Damn, I was in third. That was a good game though. Let me put GG. That was a great game. That's the best game I've had in this game so far. So, I'm going to return the main site. We're going to check our time. Is the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got modding support today? The #1 mod on the workshop is Giggle Physics. Well. Big gap between second and first place. Yeah. That's because he completed a mission. Completing your missions... You always want to check your 2 missions when you first start, your 2 secret objectives. One of them is usually worth quite a decent amount. If you get lucky, one will be a medium cost and one will be a high cost instead. Where I got like a crummy, really low cost, where it was only like 2 victory points, and then my other one was 21. So if I had properly gotten to 47 before he ended that game, and somehow did some better turns, he just cascaded. He started getting what he needed right when he needed it. He got into a good flow. I'm still learning the efficiency things to look out for when according to your action board, because your action board is the thing that's going to make or break you. You need to understand what you're looking at on your action board. Which since it's 6, I want to do something. We're not going to be able to play another game, but... Oh no, cancel. I just tries to start it. I don't want to do that. Oh, no, cancel. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to join. How do I leave? How do I leave? What? I don't want to join. No. That's BS. I'm not currently waiting for a table for this game. That must be a bug. Well, we're gonna do the tutorial. Because I want to show y'all what I mean by the action board. I'm gonna let the tutorial walk y'all through this, so if you ever wanted to learn how to play this, and you didn't want to play it yourself to learn how to do the tutorial, you'd rather just get into the game, you can always watch what I'm about to do. And I'm going to try to blaze through this, but explain as efficiently as possible, so it's faster than trying to do it on your own. So, skip that, we already know. So, we're not going to worry about all this. This is just introducing the tutorial, talking about the game itself and where it takes place. This part I'll read. The ashes from the First Great War still darken the snow in 1920s Europa. Yet we have mechs. Yet various factions arms themselves once more for war. From the remnants of civilization, a new empire will rise. Alright. In Scythe, each player will play a different faction, each bent on regional dominance. To accomplish this, players will accumulate resources and spend them to enlist recruits, build structures, activate upgrades, deploy monstrous mechs. Once they have built up their infrastructure, players will venture out to explore the region and conquer their foes. Most of the players' action boards will build towards some sort of achievement. The first player to secure 6 achievements, that's the objectives, will trigger the end of the game. Whoever has the most coins, or victory points, remember these two are coherent to each other, will win. Each faction always begins in the same part of the map, as indicated by their sigil, which, funny thing is, we actually had the one I learned how to play with, which is why I think I did a lot better with that one. Because this is the one you learn with. You learn with the Nordic faction how to play this game. So that's why you saw me kind of knowing how to do things already, because you used them in the tutorial. The first time I played this, I ended up with them. And I didn't realize we needed these more than anybody else. And I screwed up my secret objective the first time I ever played because I didn't understand what I was doing. Oops. This time I just ran out of time. I was going to achieve it, but I ran out of time. That was out of my hands, though. That's something that's more acceptable as a loss. Whereas when I was playing at this, I actually screwed over my own objective by my own stupidity. Because one of the objectives was, you cannot use upgrade this part right here. Meaning you cannot pay for upgrades. Like, you have to avoid this. And I would have gotten 30 points from that victory. A secret objective. It was quite expensive. But I screwed up and accidentally did an upgrade and not realizing what I was doing. And boop, screwed it over completely. But each way. Each faction always begins in the same part of the map as indicated by their sigil. In this game, you will play as the Nordic faction. Each player's setup on the map is identical and consists of one character starting on the sigil. Like right here, that's our character piece. One worker on each hex that borders your sigil. So whatever 2 hexes that, so these 2 hexes are theirs, these 2 hexes are theirs, these 2 hexes are theirs, and so on and so forth. Feel free to zoom in for closer looks. Each player has 2 personal boards, a faction board and an action board. Yeah. Every board is different and you'll have, sorry, my brain. And you'll have unique faction/action combinations each time you play. So, this up here is my faction board. The top. The top part of this board, so I'm going to bring it up. This is my faction board. This is the action board. To show you the difference. This is what you use to play. This is what determines what your faction is good at and what type of mechs you'll have to choose from with perks that they can do. It also shows what your enlist stuff does on your faction board. So each of the panels has different enlist things you can get. So the Nordic actually get more. So you can see this, how these are 2s. So you notice I was only getting 1 power when I had that one section enlisted. Every time an opponent used that ability. The Nordics seem to have an advantage in this, where if someone else uses an action, it makes sense because they're based on Vikings and pillaging and all that. So they're stealing basically from the other players. So that means every time someone uses one of these board actions that these correspond to, so that means this one is here. This one is here. This one is here. This one is here. So that means for an example, for victory points, which that's really powerful, they get a victory point one. Or coin one rather as well. Because victory points and coins are kind of the same thing. So you can get 2 coins every time someone builds a mech. And that's pretty prominent if you can get that early. That would be something you'd probably want to focus on because everyone needs mechs. That's really powerful for them. And we didn't get lucky with that last time. Because here's the thing that's funny. This is separate from this. So you could end up, because I have it on random for my settings for the match, you can end up with the Nordic but not have this action this way. So this is a produce and deploy action. But you may not have this specific thing here. So the enlist may end up working for this or something. Depending on what it is. Which it'll explain that a little bit in a minute. And these are also all your resources. These are your battle cards and stuff like that. These are the character icon and mech icon. Your 2 secret objectives are always at the top right there. And you can see them in the minimized version here as well. And stuff like that. So, each player, I already read that. Each faction's faction board lists their starting resources, special ability, and their mech's abilities. You can't see ours right now. But you'll pull it up if you click anywhere in the area around your names. That's why I did that. Wow. Go ahead and take a look. It has a big yak on it. Yep. The other board, the action board, is divided into 4 different columns. Each column has a top and bottom action. On your turn, you must activate a column and perform the top action. Afterwards, if you have the necessary resources, you may perform the bottom action as well. Let's start with the most basic action, moving. Moving, it's in the 3rd column, so yeah. So for us, moving is in the 3rd column. Now, once again, that may not be the case in every game. This might be over here, or here, or here. Because this is entirely random when you start the game, unless I have the settings for what's called auction. So you get to auction and pay coins. Every player starts with, I think, like 20 coins. And you get to pay and bid for each of these different panels that are across the different boards to try to make combinations that suit your faction the best. If you can afford it and want to take the risk of paying more coins to beat someone in the bid who might want it as well. And hope they don't want it as bad as you do. And then there's also drafting. The drafting setup means it goes in player turn order. Whoever's turn is first, they get to choose the first faction. And then the next player gets to choose you get to choose an action board or a faction. So the first player gets to choose an action board or a faction. The second player does the same. And when it keeps going around in circles until everyone is filled in their board. Because if you pick a faction board, you have to pick an action tile or board the next time around that it comes to you. So you have to plan strategically. What's more lucrative to you right now? Would you rather look for a better action board right now? Or are you looking for a specific faction and then try to build it from that? So. I don't know why it says that. I guess because it's a tutorial. I'm definitely not from Taiwan. Let's start with the most basic action, moving. It's in the 3rd column of our action board. Click on move and build. I didn't accidentally hit that, did I? No, I think it's just a tutorial. It's just click on the move and build at the top. Alternative, click on, yeah. So you can either use these buttons because it's an online site, if you prefer, and you'll notice it highlights your board to show you which panel you're actually using. But I tend to use the actual board. So we want to move. So good. The top action is always first. The icons with green background show what we can do. We have 2 choices here. So we can either, you get 2 choices, except for here, this is different. The produce action does not work like that. But for every other action, you'll notice there's always 2 choices. So we can either choose to move 2 pieces, 1 space, or we can choose to gain 1 coin for free. And if you upgrade this, you can gain 2 coins for just the hell of it. I don't like the hexes our worker started on, so let's move the worker. So we want to select this worker. You'll see all the, and I didn't say this earlier, when you click a worker, you can see all the tiles they can reach according to passives and upgrades and things like that they can get to, lit up in gold and yellow. Once I get the Steam version, if there's enough people still playing that, I'm going to show the Steam version as well to show the difference. It's a little easier to see what's happening on the Steam version, to be fair. Let's see, I don't like the hexes, so we want to select him. All valid locations glow in yellow. So now we want to move. So this is where you're going to see something interesting. You saw me do this earlier. This is also why I did this strat, because this is probably the best bet to get farms if you want to go early, or you can go this way. I probably, in hindsight, so I would have had a guaranteed farm without testing Red's borders. Probably should have moved him across the river over here to this recruiting site, and then we could have gotten multiple objectives. Like, I could have moved my character here, got this, came back and got this. There's a lot of things I probably could have done better there. But it's hindsight's 2020 as you learn more and more about factions and how they work according to your action board. So we want to move him over here. Now, because our faction is Nordic, we get the automatic passive that all of our worker pieces can cross any river by themselves. They don't need a mech to cross. So every faction always has that passive. I want to show it. I'm going to minimize this and show it. So the passive will always be at the top right of your faction board when you click next to your name. It will always be right here, what your faction does, period. What its biggest advantage is passive-wise. So in our case, it wants us to move a worker like I did in our main game to this little recruiter area. We can still move our other unit. So it wants us to move this to metal. Once again, I basically did the tutorial moves in that game to kind of show the example, to show what I'm going to show now. To show what it can lead to, but what it can also cost you if you don't do it right, like I did. Like I got kind of caught up and caught off. Which you'll see what the AI is actually going to do in areas I kind of lost control of. But you'll see soon. So, okay, that's it for our move action. Next, we can trigger the bottom action, which is a build action. But because we have no wood, we cannot. The icons with red backgrounds indicate how much it's going to cost you. In this case, it shows if we pay 3 wood, we can build a structure and gain 1 coin, or victory point. Unfortunately, we do not have any wood, so we need to end our turn. So now it's our opponent's turn. We let the AI do its thing. Saxony won. That's not that's not surprising. Farseer is right. Essentially, that is that faction for this board, basically, because I think they all are based on real life factions somewhat. Not 1-to-1, of course, but similar. Next turn, note the yellow outline around our third column. Oh yeah, that, like I said before, you cannot use the same column twice. So because I moved that turn, which you saw I was doing when we were playing, we can't do this again. We have to do one of these. Now, if you're playing this faction, they don't have to worry about that. Their passive is the fact they can do something twice in a row. That's their strength. I have heard this is the faction that everyone hates, because this is the most overpowered faction. This is why I tend to put it on random. And if you get blessed with this faction, then just enjoy it. Although, ironically, Red did not win in that battle. So it goes to show you it's not that overpowered. It does make it easier on this player a lot more than any of us, because of that craziness that he can just move twice if he wanted to. So essentially he can move 4 pieces in 2 turns. So, what do you call it? But yeah, so that is kind of powerful. This one I think is better at combat. I actually want to look at that when we do this. Let me look at this. So, dominate. Yeah, okay, see? There is no limit on the number of stars you can place from completing objectives and winning combat. Yep. That's why he won. That's how he ended the game. He got aggressive enough that he was able to attack Red and take him out 2 or 3. I think it was twice. So he was able to end the game and secure his victory and put me in 3rd place because I wasn't able to get my objective to put me in 2nd. So this faction, which is basically kind of Germany, this faction's all about that armored warfare. Here come the tiger mechs, basically. But yeah, I haven't got to see what these factions do yet. I am gonna do an auction setup. I really want, like, this is why I want to play with James and Darius in this one time, because I want us to be able to choose, and I'm gonna tell them I call the purple one. I want to see what this fish faction has as its passive, because no one ever plays as this, and I wonder why. Is it bad? Is it terrible? Or they just don't know how to use it? I want to see what this is. I'm assuming maybe this is popularity based, right? Slaanesh, right? Purple. I'm calling it now, and my instincts are telling me why people don't tend to play this is they have to be really friendly with this one. Because it's more about the getting everyone to heart you. So, I'm calling it now, that's probably what this does. And maybe that's why people don't like it, because people prefer this being somewhat aggressive when they need to be. And any player who plays this faction probably absolutely hates this faction. And probably attacks it most of the time. Let's see, I don't actually know. I'm actually not sure which of these are Russia. These both actually can be the Russfields. This actually might be China. I'm not really sure. The fact that they can... I don't know. Because this is a bear and this is a star, my brain kind of goes... Yeah, but it's like, if they're both technically represented in this game somewhat, this one I think is more like... I forget what they're called, what the countries... Oh, what is it? This one might be more Italy? No. I could see maybe a Roman Greek version of this. But then again, we have Nordic already here, so it can't be them. Not sure who that would be. But, let's activate, let's see. The bear is Poland. Oh, you think it's Poland? Maybe. Okay, I could see that. Then that would definitely make this one Russian. Because this one's all about movement, right? This one's all about being able to repeat the same actions. So in a way, you could argue that's kind of how they behaved tactically in World War II. So it was all about moving the troops around and being able to be mobile and understanding their environment and fighting in their own territory and knowing what it's like. That's kind of what that represents, it feels like. So yeah, okay. So that's cool. So and theirs is all about completing objectives. This is Poland. Their main passive is these things. They get 2 choices from this instead of 1. Meaning they will always get to choose two objective things in these little events to take and get way more from them. And they start with, like, unless this player is existing and is here, they start with 2 right next to them, basically. We kind of all do. We all start with some that are basically a secondary slot for other factions. Like, this is the competing one between me and him. This is the competing one between me and him, and so on and so forth. Where we all also start with one near our territories in near the first 2 hexes. Where mine's here, his is here, his is here, theirs are here. So, let's activate our second column. It contains the produce action at the top and the deploy action at the bottom. Though, just like last turn, we don't have enough resources for the bottom action. For now, let's just produce. So now we're going to do producing. At the top of the column, it indicates the produce action lets us select up to 2 hexes we control, unless you upgrade it. And in each one, we can produce 1 resource of the hex type per worker on that hex. Look at our corner of our board right now. We have 1 worker on a mountain hex and a village hex. Mountain hexes produce metal. Village hexes produce workers. Stop giggling. I get enough of that for my students. This must have been a teacher. I said this when I read the tutorial the first time. Must have been a teacher who made this game. Or made this tutorial, rather, I should say. Not the game, but made this tutorial. It's like, stop giggling. I get it. Because you get it? A worker produce... Workers in an area of a village produce more workers? Also, it could be maybe that's what this is, too. Maybe this produces workers better. Because of the two fish swimming in sequence with each other. That could also be this thing's passive. It's all about the workers. Let's see. Select Mountain Hex first in village. So we want to go bop, bop. And then click produce. Alright, great. Now we have 2 workers in that village. The new worker came from our action board. As you can see, there are 5 more workers we can produce. If you hover over those workers, you can take a peek. So I'll explain this real quick. We already saw this in my playthrough. The more workers you produce, the more expensive it gets to produce resources with the bottom action with those workers. So because we ended up with extra 4 workers, we had to pay 1 popularity and 1 power, the heart right here, and the wing symbol. Hold on, my mouse is. And the wing symbol right here. This is power. This is popularity. So because we had so many workers, every time we wanted to produce resources with them, we would need to pay that power and popularity out the gate to be able to use it. So it gets more expensive to do this produce action depending on how many workers you're spamming. That's also what makes me wonder if this kind of, maybe this one plays into that. I also don't know what this one's passive is either. I've never seen it. So I don't know what they do either. Let's say pigs, right? So either they're better at getting wood or they're better at getting food. They do start with a farm tile right out the gate. So, and there's only 3 factions. Actually, 4 of the factions technically start off with that. But me and Germany over here don't get that. We have to start with oil, wood, metal. And then in his case, metal, oil, people. As we produce more workers, we'll reveal these icons adding costs to the produce action. Next, look at the mountain where we produce metal. As you can see, the metal we produced didn't go into an inventory. Players don't have inventories in this game. Instead, produce resources stay on the board. That's for attacking purposes. Because as what he did as well, when he attacked, I forgot where it was somewhere around here that Red had. When he attacked Red, he took all the resources and everything that was on that tile, if there was resources on that tile. Not just the tile. He also took the building. But the building he can't use. Like, he doesn't get the benefit of that building, but at least now he's actually keeping it from being used from the other player as well. So, you only get benefits from your own building. So, that's it for the produce action. We don't have enough metal, so click confirm. In turn. Next turn, we need more resources to get our engine started. But since we produced last turn, we cannot do it again this turn. This is a good time to trade. Click on the trade / enlist or click the 4th column. So, for us, trading and enlisting is on the same column. I kind of wish this had been the case for us with in the last match. That would have been brilliant. Because if we had rolled this kind of enlist with this, with the trade, we could have just kept feeding food to ourselves and kept enlisting and gaining coins. Those are strategies you can try to win with as well. You see, next time, so this time, it's a good time to trade. Let's trade. So, you have 2 options. We can spend 1 coin, get 2 resources of any choice, or spend 1 coin and get popularity. Popularity increases the point values of other scoring criteria. Let me actually talk about that real quick because I didn't have time to explain that. So the heart symbol, right here, that I have, popularity, you see this track with how much popularity you have. As you get up higher in popularity, once you hit 7, you can see all the scoring criteria for objectives, controlling territory, and every 2 resource you have, still on the board, not used up, you get more points value for each of those things. So it does play to be more popular, because eventually as you get into here, now objectives are worth 5 points each, territories are 4 points each, and every 2 resource you have not spent from your board is worth 3 points each. And then if you get to 18, you get an objective that automatically gets you this 5, and you have the maxed out points. Which goes up here. That's this one. That's this objective. At this point in the game, resources are much more important than popularity, so let's click on this. Yep. Click on this button. Wait, hold on. Alright, so select food, click on the controlled mountain hex and metal. So we want food. Can't do both things. Food. And it wants it on both on mountain hex. And we want metal, mountain hex. Good. We'll be able to also. You see how lucky that is? We'll be able to deploy a mech next time because we got lucky with because the tutorial has this set up this way. That this produce action is above the deploying mech action. So not only will I get coins from this, but because I'm producing and we already have 2 metal, we'll get that metal in the same turn and produce the mech in the same turn. And get the 2 coins in the same turn. Good, we'll be able to deploy a mech next turn. Click confirm. Okay, the moment has arrived. Click on produce and deploy. Yep, so now you're going to see what happens. We're going to produce. Same hexes as before, so bop. Bop. Same X as mountain, then village, then produce. So now we'll get 2 workers, because I had 2 workers there. But now he's done what I did, but I ended up with, like, way more, because I had 3 workers here when I did it. So we ended up with, 1 extra here, and had to pay popularity as well as power. This time we produced 2 more workers instead of 1. Again, that's because each worker produces a resource. We have 3 metal and territories we control now, so we can now deploy a mech. But I'd better explain a few things first. Each faction has 4 available mechs on their faction board, which I showed you earlier. Each mech is covering an ability. Whenever a mech is deployed, it activates that ability for all that player's mechs and their character. Okay. So now that it said that, I want to bring this up. I wanted to wait till it said it. So for instance, I'm going to use Seaworthy as or since we used this in the last game, I'm going to use Seaworthy as an example. You probably noticed, even though I gave the mech the Seaworthy perk, my character was able to go into that lake and go straight to the factory. So what is it? It was able to go through that territory and go straight in, go through the lake and straight into the factory territory because the Seaworthy perk happens. So you have 4 mechs in this game you can totally have, and you have 1 character. Every time you get one of these perks, this counts for all of these. Meaning, let's say I had this and this. That means both those 2 mechs right there in the middle that you see of those 4 mechs get both those perks. And so on and so forth. So, if you have all 4 mechs deployed, they all 4 have all 4 perks. And so does your character. Your character also has all 4 of those perks if all 4 of those mechs are deployed. So, once again, kind of playing into, that's why the Black faction, or the one that's like Germany, he played hardcore into making mechs and being aggressive. He's the second person I've seen do that. So it seems like most people who play that faction, you better be prepared that they're going to attack you, most likely. Or one of you. Someone's going to get hit. Because it plays into their passive. So. Right. We really want the speed mech. Click here to deploy a mech and click speed. So you're going to see what it originally did. And this is something I probably should have done first, instead of forcing, because no one competed with me here. No one even tried to go to the factory. So what I should have done is moved her here, or got the speed mech, because you're gonna see why that would have helped us and what the tutorial is gonna do. But I wasn't trying to just repeat the tutorial. I wanted to try a different strategy, see what else we could do. But I do think in hindsight, with the scenario we ended up in, we definitely should have stuck with getting the speed perk first. Excuse me. And then we should have went and got Seaworthy to send my character to the factory. Because then they would have done it in one turn. Because here's the thing. Speed makes you go 2 spots for 1 spot. So with the move icon, normally you can only move 1 piece, 1 space. Or, excuse me, 2 pieces, 1 space each. If you have speed, all your mechs in your character can move an additional space for that 1 move. So we're going to pay the 3 metal, get 2 coins for victory, and now we want the speed mech. And now we want to deploy it in the village. And you're going to get to see something I didn't get to do either, which will show why mechs are really good. Technically, the black faction, or the red faction, did show it off in that battle, which you're fixing to see what I'm talking about. So excellent. Our mech has been deployed. We've also gained 2 coins indicated on the action board. So now we end and let the AI do its thing. Iron Harvest explains all of this. That's true. That's a good point. If you want a story-based kind of game that's RTS, kind of like Age of Mythology kind of style RTS, or mixed with somewhat Call to Arms. It's not totally like Call to Arms because there's not as much cover and stuff in that game. There is cover for the people, but not for the mechs. Farseer is correct. Iron Harvest is probably the best explanation of this universe. They're not based in the same universe, but one could say they're basically the same. So if you wanted an explanation of what this reality is kind of like, and a lot of the factions are kind of similar in that universe for Iron Harvest, that they are here in Scythe. So, by the way, all of our actions up until now, the movement, production, and trading, were all carefully explained, or planned, to give us a mech quickly as possible. There are 2 reasons why we wanted to do this. Reason 1. Every player has an encounter token in their starting area 2 spaces away from their sigil. If we move our character to it, we'll be able to choose one of the powerful bonuses. So now it wants me to move again. So now you're going to get to see what it wants me to do. It wants me to select the character and move it to the Mountain Hex, which is where the sigil for the event is. The encounter token is pulsing now to indicate that it will activate at the end of our move action. We've only moved one of possible 2 units so far. Reason 2 of why we wanted a mech. When mechs move, they can bring a player's workers and resources along with them. Select your mech and hit take all. Then click the southwest of your region of your village, which is farm. It should just click the southwest farm. But I guess some people might not know what you would think, but these days I don't think people know what a farm is. But anyways, take all, get all the peoples, and you'll see why this is going to be cool. Especially when you have speed, because you can kind of plop down people as you move forward, and you'll see what it's going to do. So now we have all 4 of our workers on board the mech. Now we click here. You'll note they all moved with it. Now what it wants me to do is it wants me to drop someone off. So now we click this arrow. We carry 3, leaving 1 behind. And now watch this. Now you see how I left someone there to be able to do something. That's another advantage of how the mechs kind of work and what they kind of can help you do. Great job. We've moved 3 workers to a forest so we can produce. Now the reason why he did that is it's going to show what a structure does soon. Great job. We've moved 3 workers to a forest so we can produce wood later. We've also dropped off a worker at a farm which produces food. That's both of our moves, so we'll end our moves. So we get our encounter, we get to choose, and it wants me to choose the bottom one all the time. I remember from the tutorial, from what it told me last time. So it wants us to pay 2 popularity, banish this lady from her from her home and her land, and build a structure. So we can build stuff on her property. Good, we opted to pay 2 popularity to build a building. This action usually requires us to pick the third action column and pay 3 wood. Thanks to the encounter, we can get our first building earlier than we planned. Each player has 4 buildings on their action board: monument, mill, mine, and armory. Each one will make a different action column a little more useful. I think the mill is the best option here. It will help us get more resources. Click on the mill at the top. Oh, I'll let it explain, but I'll double up on it. So we're going to click the mill and then click confirm. Now it went right there. Now I'm going to let it say it, and then I'm going to say it as well. Whenever we receive anything from an encounter, we cannot choose where it is placed. It always goes on the encounter hex. The mill functions as an extra worker. The next time we do the produce action and select this hex, we'll produce 2 metal. One with our worker, one with the mill. So let me also elaborate that. So whenever you do an event or an encounter, these little compass icons, if it's a building or something specific, like gaining resources, like food, whatever, metal, wood, and stuff like that, it will always put it on the hex where the encounter is. So always keep this in mind, that you might want to move your resources off that hex if it starts to become a problem and there's someone encroaching kind of too close. Because you don't want to put all your resources on one tile if you can help it, because then that means they get the most bang for their buck from just attacking you and winning, and getting a ton of victory points from all your resources. And taking that territory for also another like 2 points in the beginning, and then 3 and 4 and at the end. So I'll explain the other buildings later. For now, click on confirm. Yep, so we got our mill. So now we'll produce 2 metal every time we produce, because there's a worker and a mill there. To have a good shot at winning, we need to trigger the actions along the bottom of our action board as often as possible. That is true too. The bottom part of your action board is how you kind of win the most. The top is more for just gaining stuff to help you win. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. If we activate the second action column this turn, produce and deploy, will we be able to deploy a mech? No, because we have no metal. Well, actually, wait. No, because we're only going to produce 2. No, we won't. Producing with our mountain hex will only give us 2, and we need 3. In that case, before we produce, let's use another trade action to get 1 more metal and 1 more food. You already know how to do this, so I'll just fast forward. Okay. So it's gonna trade for coin for 1 metal and 1 food, so we already have the food we want and work up towards it. Okay, now we're ready to produce/deploy again. This time we'll have to pay 1 power to use the action. Again, this is because we produced more workers, revealing a cost on our board. We'll learn more about power soon. Click on produce/deploy. So, time to select hexes. Select mountain and then the forest hex. So, mountain, forest. So that's 3 wood because there's 3 people there and 2 metal. Next we'll deploy our second mech. I think we should unlock Seaworthy, so now it's doing what I kind of tried to do. Now you're going to see the parts that are same between us. But what I should have done is this. I literally should have done this from the get-go and not worried about this as much unless I absolutely, like, I had an extra person here for too long. I definitely should have moved one of them here way earlier in the game, so we would have had all 3 of these, because I could have kept moving that way. Or let the mech do it. That's once again why speed probably would have been a better call, because then I would have at least got her to all 3 of these areas. And then our player character could have went boom, 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 and stuff like that. Next, we'll deploy our second mech. So we need Seaworthy. Seaworthy. And now place it on the forest hex. Great job. The Seaworthy mech will allow us to move on to lake hexes. We'll make good use of that soon. It's Fade, bro. It's been a long time. Oh, welcome, Fade. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Fade. Welcome back. Next turn, let's learn about enlist action, which is at the bottom of our 4 faction column. Each player has a colored disc at the bottom of each of their action columns. When you use an enlist action, we can move one of those discs off of one of these slots on our faction board. So, yeah, so these is what it's talking about, chat. We saw these in the game we played, but when you ring cover one of these, when someone does this bottom action, you will get whatever that is right there. So we'll receive the benefit of whichever slot we move to. Click trade and enlist. As always, we'll start with the top action. Click here to trade 1 coin for 2 resources. Place 2 food on the farm. Then enlist. We have to select the disc we want to move. Select the third, so it's going to do that one. Select the 3rd action column. Now we have to select a bonus from our faction. For our faction, choose 2 power. So this, we want 2 power. So we get an immediate bonus of some sort of result here. And now every time someone builds a building, I will get popularity. Great job, we've gained 2 power, bringing us up to 5, but that's not all we got. When we move that colored disc, it revealed an icon. For the rest of the game, whenever the players... This also is not correct. Unless you have to fill the board. I'm wondering if when there's only 3 people, that it's always going to trigger if either one of these does it, because there's no one in between our left and right sides to each other. So I'm assuming that's what that was. That's why when they did it, it still counted. Because normally it's only the players to left and right of you. So if this whole board had all the factions playing, I'd only be affected by when he did it and when he did it. These would not affect me. That's only if we had a full lobby, though. Whenever we or the players to our left or right take a build action, we'll gain the reward shown, 1 popularity, which is 1 heart. The other discs correspond to different actions and yield different rewards. If you hover over each disc, you can see the icons. That's what I did earlier. So that's combat cards. That's more victory/coins. And that's power for fighting. And for other things, for paying for workers to do their resources. We chose the disc in the 3rd column because we're all set to build. Also, if you do it as well, it works. So even if I build and use this action, I also still get popularity for it. Alright, our first move action. Got our first workers into position. Second, triggered the encounter and positioned all workers to harvest wood. But the next action will be the most impactful one. Click the move and build. Getting 3 wood for a building was certainly nice, but our goal should be to move to a tundra hex, produce oil, and use it to upgrade. Yeah, because we get the most for this board. We get the most coins for doing upgrades. That's because our specific action board grants more coins for upgrades than for any other action. Do you see any tundra hexes we can move to? Well, there's that one and technically that one. And that one. It's going to have me go here, but once again, we're not really trying to enlist. If in this situation, I would not be worried about enlisting at the moment. I would actually instead move this to here. Because that'd be way more effective. Now, it's going to do this because it's going to pull more people up here, I think. I think it's going to pull 2 people with it. And it's going to produce basically 2 to 3 oil in one turn. We could, see, it even says it, we could move some workers across the river to the southeast, but we wouldn't be able to move everyone. It would be better to use our mech, but our mechs can't cross rivers yet. They're certainly seaworthy, but they aren't river-worthy. That makes no sense, but that's just the rules of the game. Wait a second, our forest hex has a tunnel on it. All spaces with tunnels are considered adjacent to each other, so we can easily move to others. So let me show that. So these little red icons at the bottom of the tiles scattered about the map, that means all of these tiles can go to these tiles. So every single one of these tiles is connected. Kind of like the dwarf and goblin under and rat strategy, the underway. These are literally the underways. So let's say he wanted to move from here to here, he could and attack me. Now he'd be at a disadvantage because I have 2 mechs, and I think the more mechs you contribute, the more power you can, or something like that, or I don't remember. I know you can play more battle cards per mech and per character in the battle. But, so select this mech character. Yeah, it's going to take all 3 workers. So select this mech. We want to take all 3 workers, but not the wood. But leave the wood behind and move to the tundra. Okay, we got all of our workers onto the tundra hex, but our mech only had to travel 1 space for that. If we want, we can drop off all of our workers here and move our mechs somewhere else, perhaps through another tunnel. Do you see any interesting tunnel spaces on the map? I think it's talking about the enemy, yeah. Our opponent has a mech and a worker on a farm southwest of here, and they have 4 resources stockpiled on it. Whenever a player moves a mech or a character into another player's mech or character's area, they trigger combat, pitting their power against their opponents. Let's do it. If we win, we'll force our opponent to retreat and plunder their resources. Drop all your workers and move into the opponent's farm. So, drop all workers, move into the farm. Good, but this combat won't trigger just yet. We have to finish our move action first, and we've only moved 1 unit so far. Did you notice the unique hex? It's a factory, and it's directly in the center of the map. Whenever a player brings their character token to the factory, that's this little thing, it matches your sigil in this game. Now, in the Steam version, it's actually a character. Like, it's actually like this one. I can't remember. This one's a guy with a wolf beside him. It's like a German dude. This one's a Polish lady. I think it's this one. This one's it's either. Hold on. Oh, I can't click them, can I? No. I can't remember which one's which, but one of them's a lady with a bear. This one's this one makes no sense because it's a horse icon, but this is a lady with an eagle. So I guess this might be technically America, or could be the American representation of the faction. I don't know what their passive is either, to be fair. I always forget. I've seen it, but I don't remember what it is. Oh. Well, what just happened? Oh shoot, how did I do that? Oh, weird. Somehow Board's a little finicky sometimes. We're trying to move it in the app. Okay. Whenever a player brings their character to the factory, they can acquire special action cards and place it on their 5th empty column right here, which we did in the game. We can reach the factory with our character this turn because we've deployed Seaworthy Mech, allowing our mechs and character to cross through lakes, and we have the speed icon. It should have said that too. And because we also have the speed mech built, we move 2 spaces per from every mech and character. So we can easily get here. So select our character, and boop boop. Alright, we need to click end all moves and we'll get a choice, so we get to confirm, bring it up. Now it wants me to choose the middle option. Okay, time to fight. Oh right, combat comes first. In combat, each player must secretly commit up to 7 of their stockpile power. We currently have 5 power, and our opponent has 3. In addition, each player can use 1 combat card per mech / character they have involved in the fight. Each card is worth 2 to 5 power. We only have 1 card, and it's unfortunately a 2 power one. Our opponent has 4 cards, and we can't see how strong they are. After each player has secretly chosen their power and cards, their choices are revealed. Which side has the more power wins the fight. Attackers always win ties. So if you're attacking and it's a tie exactly in the middle, you will win. Because in this game promotes aggression when it comes to the attacker, because of what it promotes and what you have to do if you're going to play, especially this faction. So, attackers always win ties. It's safe to assume our opponent's cards are stronger than our 2 power card, but we have a larger power stockpile, so there's a chance. So I still think we can win. When you click confirm, our power dial will pop up on the screen. I want you to commit as much power as possible to this fight. That means all 5 of your stockpile power, plus our 2 power card for a total power of 7. So here we go. Now we click the 5. Because it says click on the dial, so click on the 5 on your dial. Click on our 2 power card. Now it's at 7. And now we confirm. Now you'll note we have to pay that power, so now we're at 0 power. That's also why you saw me not getting too aggressive with the warlike faction, because I would rather keep him from attacking me. Something Red didn't totally compensate for, whereas I did. That's why he didn't go for me. He was like, that's a little too risky. Because you can never commit more than 7 in stockpile power. So, phew, our opponent also had a total power of 7. 3 total stockpiled power and a 4 power card. But as the attacker, we win ties. All of the opponent's units on this hex were forced to retreat back to their faction's sigil. As a consolation prize for losing the fight, they gained another free combat card. So when you lose a fight, you do get a combat card to help you come back into the game. It's basically a balancing act to keep players from being bullied. The loser must use at least, and this is a note, if you decide to not commit any power or cards and you'd rather lose, you will not get, because you committed not even at least 1, you will not get a combat card back. So I would say even if you know you're going to lose, pay at least 1 power. Don't use a card, but pay at least 1 of your power unless you're at 0. If you're at 0, you have no choice. You just have to take the loss and just not get the card unless you want to use a cheap card to hope you get a better card. You could do that too. So you could use a 2 power card in hopes that the card it gives you is like a 3 or 4 or a 5 power card. But if you have power, the best bet is if you're in a losing scenario and you know you can't commit enough, go with 1 power only. Throw the fight to be able to retreat. And get a free or battle card to come back from behind. As for us, our attacking mech gets to stay in the hex with the resources our opponent worked so hard to produce. Unfortunately, scaring away workers is also a war crime. Whenever a player attacks and forces workers to retreat, they lose 1 popularity per retreating worker. That's not the 1920s plus US faction. I mean, for this universe it might be. I'm not saying for Iron Harvest. But if you saw what her character is in Steam, what she looks like and her pose, and America is known for quite a few horses. Not as much as some other places, but just because we have a lot of territory for horse breeding and stuff. But I'm just talking about from this game's perspective. I think this one is... It could be this, I guess, but I just don't think it's that. I think it's most likely this one. But yeah, for every retreating worker, so the little tiny dots, colored dots, every time you make one of those retreat, you will lose a popularity. Now, of course, the game was kind of playing into this, because sometimes you can be aggressive and just say, screw, you're not going for popularity, you're going for just raw power and raw points. You could say screw it and let your popularity tank to 0 and just not care about it. So like it said, luckily we were already at 0. You can't go negative. So that cost us technically nothing. We also gained an achievement star for winning a combat at the top of the map. So yeah, just like the German-like faction did in our game, we now have one of these claimed as an objective at the top. As you can see, there are 2 combat slots up here. So each player can earn a maximum of 2 stars from combat, except for Germany down here. They can have an infinite amount in there. They can literally just keep winning fights to get these objectives. They literally can ignore the rest of these entirely. That's what makes them that's what their strength is. As you can see, there are 2 combat. There are 8 other ways we can gain a star. You can hover over each particular box to see what it is. When one player gains the 6th star, the game will immediately end, which is what he did. He basically fought several battles and filled this in to make up for the last stars he was missing to end the game. Next, we'll resolve our other movement, that of our character onto the factory. We'll draw 3 factory cards and we need to select to keep one of them. Keep the middle one. So that one's going to mean we get to pay 1 power, gain 3 victory coins, and we'll get to move 1 piece or one character on our board 2 times. Or mech or worker. So any of our tokens. I should say tokens. So we'll get to also be able to move 1 token on our board twice. So we want the middle one. And click confirm. Great. That card filled the 5th slot on our action board. We can activate it on our turn just like any other column. The top of our action card costs 1 power, grants 3 points. The bottom looks like it gave us a move action, but it's a little different than the original one, or the one in the 3rd column. The normal one, you get to move 2 units, 1 space, each 2 spaces from mechs. It's like, and then 2 spaces from mechs and characters who have speed like we already have. And in the new one, our new one lets us move 1 token, 2 spaces, or 3 spaces if it's a mech or the character with speed. Phew, that was quite a move. We moved our workers through Tundra, won combat, acquired a factory, and that was only the top action of the column. Next we can build. So now we've got enough wood, so now we can pay wood. We have to select the 3, so this is where the paying comes from. You have to select 3 wood on the board. Let us use the wood we plundered from our opponent. So now we take both the wood from here. So you gotta click on the hexes with the resource you're looking for. And then click on my space with the wood once. And then click confirm. So, now we have a choice of one of the remaining buildings. The monument will give us 1 popularity each time someone activates this first column, whatever it is for them. The mine will... Oh no, wait, each player or just me? Oh, we. So each time we activate this column, we'll get a free popularity out of it. The mine will function as a tunnel we can use only. So let's say I put a tunnel here. They can't go from this tunnel to here. Only I can go from here to here. So continue. Since we will want to use our first action column quite a bit moving forward, let's build a monument. Select the monument at the top and place it on the Tundra hex with our 3 workers. So monument, Tundra, confirm. Note that we immediately gained 1 popularity. It wasn't from the monument, but from the fact that we built something. Triggering the icon that we revealed with our enlist action earlier, yep. Okay, that's it for our turn. Confirm. Yo, Temp Gang, welcome, welcome. Alright, he's getting to do an encounter. Oop. Okay, we don't get to see those too fast, to be fair. I don't think they're on the board game. Well, this isn't the same as Iron Harvest's world, right? I'm pretty sure Scythe is a different universe, isn't it? Or is it not? Is Iron Harvest from the same universe as Scythe? And if that's the case, then yeah, America's not on here. But I think they're different universes, I assume. Yeah, it was a long stream. We ended up talking for a long time. I won't be able to get to do that tonight because I've got food I've got to eat after this, and we're already at 7 o'clock. After this tutorial ends, since we've already done a game for today, we've actually been going for like 2 hours now, 3 hours already. We played a game of Scythe here. This is what we're playing now. But now I'm doing the tutorial to show for anyone who wants to learn how to play Scythe. I'm doing the tutorial on stream to show what we did during that game I played, since I had to go kind of fast in some cases. And how this game kind of plays. It's kind of a mixture between Iron Harvest and Civilization meets a board game. Same universes, different wars. Oh, I didn't know these were the same universe. So Scythe is from the Iron Harvest universe? That's really cool. I never knew that. It's just in a different region I'm taking it. Oh. I do want one. I did see it. I do want one. The way, not only because they look really cool, but the Wayland in me is like, I must have. Okay, next I would like to produce some oil with our perfectly positioned workers. But we'll have to pay 1 power for that, and we used all of our power in combat. To get more, we need to bolster first. So click your bolster action on your board. That's this part of the action board. So that's these 2 eagle symbols. You could also choose to get combat cards that go up here and help you with combat as well. But we need the raw power, because sometimes power is needed for like workers. Because I have so many workers, I have to use raw power in order to use the produce action. So, let's do this. So the action will let us either pay 1 coin for 2 power or pay 1 coin for a single combat card, unless they were upgraded. Then you could get either 2 combat cards or 3 power. Both choices will trigger our recently constructed monument, giving us 1 popularity. So it wants me to get power. So, yeah, we'll get popularity no matter what, which is beautiful. So that's actually made that really, really, really strong. Having that monument here. Because that means I technically am always going to get that free popularity there. These are the strats you have to keep in mind when you're doing certain strategies to complete your objectives, get resources, build your mechs to help you get to new tiles. There's different ways to play it. I'll skip through this next turn. We'll simply produce 3 oil and 2 metal. Cool. It's gonna do it for me because it's a tutorial. Make it faster. Purple is Japan? Really? Yes! I called it. I didn't know it was Japan. Part of me thought about that. I'm like, Japan has the fish symbols a lot in their flag. I wonder if that's Japan. But I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't quite sure. But that also means that I'm probably right about what it does. It's either that or this thing produces mechs out the booty. It's either that or this somehow makes mechs cheaper. I'm calling it. So 3 things I think this does since it's Japan. It's either popularity based, meaning hearts and getting people to heart you. If you get my drift with certain robots that they build. Anyways. Or it's population, meaning they produce workers cheaper and maybe don't have to pay as much cost for having more workers. Maybe the icons are further back. Like maybe the icons are here and here. Like, maybe they don't start paying for their workers for produce actions until, like, around here. That also is a likelihood. Or these dudes put mechs out like somebody, like nobody's business. Which also would make sense for Japan. So, is Iron Harvest that RTS game with mechs? Yes, it is. This is from the same universe this board game is. I didn't know that until Farseer told me. But it's in a different region. This conflict is different from the conflict that's in Iron Harvest. Those are two different wars. And see, now that we have oil, we can finally upgrade something. So click the bolster and upgrade. It's here. So we want to gain power again, get that popularity. Get that power to get us back to 3. Click here to pay 3 oil for an upgrade. So we're going to use our oil to get an upgrade. So, the way upgrades work, I'm going to read it and I'm going to show you and point to it as well. Upgrading allows us to move 1 cube from the top of your action board to any space on the bottom of your board. On the top, it will reveal another icon matching whatever was to the left, so I'm going to show that first. So I'm going to give an example. I'm going to use this. You see how this gives us 2 power when we use this action like we did at the beginning of this turn. If I were to grab this block and move it, I now get 3 power from this every time I choose this action. And pay 1 coin for it, still. And what it's going to do, the next part, and now it's like whatever's left of it, and on the bottom it will cover up a cost icon, making it cheaper. So, if I were to take this and move it here, I now get 3 power when I bolster, and I will now be able to upgrade another slot somewhere else for 1 less oil. So instead of it costing 3 oil, it'll cost 2 oil to do the same type of upgrade somewhere else. Now we're going to do what the tutorial wants me to upgrade, but... So, yeah, it wants me to... It wants me to do the power one, but it wants me to make buildings cheaper because it wants me to do another building that it wants to show off, which you'll see soon. So, it wants me to select the top green cube of the power cubes, and it wants me to move it to the wood cube on the 3rd column. And then we click confirm. Now you note that cube moved. Great, from now on, and I'll let it say it as well, from now on our bolster action will now give us 3 power instead of 2 for that same 1 coin. And our build action will now require 2 wood instead of 3 to build one of our structures that gives us bonuses and other stuff. If you never played it, I definitely... Oh, I've played it once before. I have it on PS5. I never got to really finish it. I think I played it on Pass when I had it on Pass for a little while. And we never got to finish it. I do want to go back and play it. It's actually a really hard game. But I'd rather get it on PS5 if we play it again. Let's see, at the beginning of the game, each player... Oh yeah, now to the objective cards. The thing you saw me trying to desperately get done before that German player basically blitzkrieged and ended up getting his 6th objective finished and ending the game too soon. Meaning I didn't get enough time to come from behind and beat him in that way. Because sometimes objective cards will turn that game completely around, and someone who could be in last could end up winning. So, okay. We're almost done. Just a few more things to go over. At the beginning of the game, each player receives 2 objective cards. If we fulfill the requirements on one, we can reveal it at the end of our turn, earning a star. We also get the points for the card itself. So you'll get a star for completing, where is it? Your first objective. You'll get an objective star, which is worth 3 points unless your popularity is up here. Then it's worth 5 points, so you see what I mean? So that's why the heart is also important. There's a lot that goes into this game. It's actually very easy to play, but it's very deep. Like, it's actually a really intuitive game to play and pretty simple to pick up once you start doing it. But it's actually very deep on the combos you have to create in order to win in different ways according to the random action board you were given and the random faction that you were given. So in our case, we were given Nordic for the tutorial and a random board with these 4 columns on it. This column came from the factory. If you didn't get to see that in the stream, I recommend rewinding to see that. That came from, I will point to it, that came from this tile in the center of the map because we moved our character token that started up here down to here. Now there was a lot that went into how we got here, and it would take a while to go over all those steps again. So if you want to see how that happened, I definitely recommend rewinding and checking out from the beginning of the tutorial of me going over this and how to play this game. Because we played a game, a real game, at the beginning of the stream, but I wasn't really able to explain what was happening, so people were probably not sure what I was doing in some cases. So, alright, we're almost done. So, at the beginning of the game, each player receives 2 objective cards. If we fulfill the requirements on one, we can reveal it at the end of our turn, earning a star. We can only earn 1 star this way, though. You can hover over each card to see the requirement. Alright, so I want to show these just so everyone sees. So in this case, we could get 11 points for controlling at least 3 villages at the end of any turn. Or, for 19 points for this objective, we control at least 5 territories surrounding the same lake at the end of the turn. So this lake. We would need to grab all of this. We have 4. So if we were to move a worker from here to here, we would, and we managed to hold this for the end of the turn, till the end of the turn, this would complete the objective. This would get us these 19 points, and it would also complete this objective, giving us a star, giving us 3 more points, since our popularity is on the low side. The game will end immediately when someone gains their 6th achievement star, which are all these. When someone reaches 6 of these, like a single person, so if I have 6 blue stars up here in any one of these slots, so let's say 3 here, 3 here, that ends the game. Or 3 here, and like 3 over there or something like that. As long as you have 6 stars up here at least once in each of these columns, 1 for each of these columns and 6 of these columns. So you have to fill basically 6 of these. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to not use the wrong word. So you can only have 1 star in each of these unless you're this faction, who can have multiple stars in this one right here. Because they benefit from combat. And this is winning combat. Win combat up to 2 times. They can do this multiple times. So, whereas everyone else can only have 1 star in each of these little columns. And once the first person gets 6 stars, the game ends. As it says right here. The game will end immediately when someone gains their 6th achievement star. Then each player will receive bonus coins from 2 sources. Now, I have live scoring on when I play, so this actually does not matter. You get to see how much points I have at all times, because I play with live scoring. If I didn't play with live scoring, we'd actually only see the points they have based on territory, resources, workers, and coins. We'd only get to see that. If live scoring was not on, we would not see how many points they're gaining from actually, no, I don't even know if we'd see that, because this is technically when live is not turned on. This isn't calculated until the end of the game, technically. So no, we wouldn't even see that. So we would only see this, the coins. We'd only see their straight up coin percentage and victory towards that. So this is the only score we'd see. So we would not know if we're losing or winning, and we'd just have to hope for the best and do better at the end, or hope we did all the right moves. You can change that in your settings when you're setting up a match for the table, or choose those preferences when you're looking for a table to try to join a table if you don't got premium and you're just playing for free. The structure bonus tile is tucked into the bottom right corner of the map. Yeah, this thing is also something I always forget to look at this. I should have looked at this and see if we could have got some more points for this. This might have made up enough that we could have come back if I completed my objective at the same time properly. But, so the structure bonus tile is tucked away at the bottom right corner of the map. It will reward us bonus coins depending on where our buildings are placed on the map. So, in this one's case, number of encounters adjacent to your structures. Only count each encounter once. These count whether or not the encounter tokens are still there. Rivers do not block adjacency. So yeah. So you'd want to try to build buildings next to these tiles, is what that means with that symbol. And I think it only counts once. Okay, number of encounters adjacent to your structures. Ah, okay, so only count each encounter once. So I'm assuming you can't cheese the system and have 3 here. Like you have or structure here, and that doesn't, I assume that doesn't count towards having basically 2. That you're only going to get counted for like this one, or whichever one gets built first. So you'd need 1 here, you'd need 1 here or here. Actually, no, this one would get 2. This one's actually got the best advantage, because rivers don't block adjacency for that bonus. You'd immediately get 2 with this faction. They have a really good start. Technically, you could do that the same here. Can they all do that? Actually, no, they can all do that, it looks like. Yeah. So they all can do that kind of setup. So yeah, so this changes every game on what type of tiles you want to have structures on to try to get extra points. The population track is located along the left edge of the map. It shows how many coins we'll gain from 3 different criteria. Stars, which are objectives. Controlled territories, the tiles you've turned your color by having at least 1 token on it. And every 2 leftover resources on your territories that you did not spend. So that is worth a point. And so is that. Because since our popularity is low, every 2 resources on the map that I'm not using is worth 1 skill point. Or skill point, sorry. 1 victory point. Oops. And then, as we continue, the track is divided into 3 different brackets. If we gain enough popularity to enter the higher brackets, that's these. So we all start down here. From 0 popularity up to 6 is all of these brackets. Well, as soon as you hit 7 popularity, now your resources are 2 points each for every 2 unused. Territories you control are now, for every tile you own, would be worth, each of these would be worth 3 points. And for every objective you complete, or star, that you get is now worth 4 points. And then if you get up to at least 13, it changes again and goes even higher. Let's see, from the in-game criteria. After receiving these bonuses, whichever player has the most coins, or victory points, which is these 2 things, wins. After you get some experience with different factions and action boards, you might want to try auction setup mode. This is the thing I was talking about, which you can toggle in the lobby options. In this mode, an auction board is paired with each faction board. Players will then bid coins for a roll. So the way that works, I'm going to explain that real quick, and then because that's the end of. Sealy, I see you playing Monster Hunter. You get on here right now and get on this board game. I don't know if he's in the stream still. Yeah, I got stuck on one of the late missions. It was tough as hell. The AI was ruthless. Yeah, the AI is hardcore in that game. God dang. It reminds me of like, what game was it that used to do that to me a lot in RTS? I think Command and Conquer used to actually... Oh, no. Supreme Commander. Wrong one. Sorry. Supreme Commander used to have that issue on the higher difficulties. Because I used to play on normal, the hard on that. Because I played it so much. Plus, they tend to spam nukes. At that point. It's like... But the AI, yeah, that reminds me of that AI. Very aggressive at trying to either kill you by hitting you with the radiation. Is the nicest way to put it. Or trying to overwhelm you. But back to what I was saying about the auction. So when you start a game, these two boards, one, they're separate. I said this at the beginning. I'm going to iterate it one last time. This top of the board is a faction board. This is a faction you get to pick. The bottom of the board is the action board. It's a board with 4 different actions in it at random that you get to bid on. So what you, in auction mode, you basically can pay your coins. You all start with 20 coins. This little symbol, or this little symbol right here where my mouse is pointing. So you all start with 20 coins in the auction mode, and you each get to bet coins on who you're trying to get. You can either bet on you can bet on anything you want, but you have to take in consideration and hope that that person isn't trying to get the same thing as you. Because then you have to outbid them, meaning paying more coins, and that's also victory points. So the less coins you have to bid in the beginning, the stronger your victory start will be. Meaning if you get lucky and get a faction you prefer that no one else wanted, and an action board that no one else really cared about, but it works for you, you're going to start with quite a bit of victory points / coins to spend on everything else. So you see how that's strong. But the opposite can also occur. If your faction is kind of a faction that another player wants and you kind of have to fight over it, you have to decide, is it worth losing those extra starting coins and victory points to fight for this specific faction that you prefer to win with, or action board, that it might cost you. So you have to give and take on that. There's also another setting where you can do draft. And the draft setting is, it's just turn order. Everybody, whoever's first turn it is, they get to pick either a faction board or a action board. And then the next person does the same. Now, if you pick a faction board, you cannot pick an action. Like, if you pick the top board, this board, a faction board, you cannot pick a action board until it comes back around to you. And vice versa. So when it comes to drafting, you got to decide, is one of the action boards more lucrative for you because it's got the perfect combo somewhere on one of these little columns that are like from top and bottom? Because these top and bottom things change constantly. All these columns can be completely different from each other in every game. So, and they all and then 4 of them get chosen to be put into each board. So 4 columns total, a top and bottom of each of these, and these get chosen at random. So you could look at a 4 slot and see, oh, maybe... So in this case, this is a really good one. This is a good example of a really powerful column. If this is on one of the action boards, you're probably going to want to grab this before choosing a faction. If your turn is before anyone else's that hasn't picked this up yet. Because that is really good if you're going to go mechs. This with the German unit, like the German faction down here, would be extremely overpowered. Because you get good coins from building mechs, you get cheap building mechs, and if you upgrade it, let's say you have this oil and not a 4th one, not the one that costs 4 and is ridiculous, or even worse, maybe you got lucky and there's 2 oil cost upgrade already here. You can just upgrade, make this like make production better, make the mech cheaper. Now you only ever need 2 metal to ever produce mechs. You'll probably have all your mechs built within a few turns, within like 5 to 6 turns, if you ended up with that strategy. So that's why it warrants over like maybe having this first. But in draft, it's turn order. Whoever goes first, second, and third gets to pick in that order, and then it reverses. Then whoever's in last gets to go first, and then it goes back the other way when it comes to drafting. But thank you for playing the tutorial for Scythe. If you have any questions or comments about the tutorial, feel free to send Nick on the answer a message. Big thank yous goes out to Jamie Stegmeyer or Mayer for designing this game. Stone Mayer Games for for publishing and bringing it to BGA. I accidentally clicked it. Perfect tutorial. Alright. Hey, I gotta get on the grind, alright. No, you don't. You and Tam King are already way ahead of me and James. You don't need to grind nothing. You don't need to grind nothing. You leave the work to the great sword wielder. And the longsword guy. We're clearly the strongest people in the room. It's always Neko making these. He's on the tutorial grind set. LOL. He is. It does seem that Nekon Yancer is the main. There is another person who makes some of the tutorials I've run into or seen at the end of the tutorials, but it does seem that Nekon Yancer does most of the heavy lifting when it comes to making tutorials. But big shout out to that person. These tutorials are great. They explain so much. These are probably you know how I am in games. Some AAA titles can't even have tutorials that good at explaining what you're doing. And this is a complicated game. Still, a lot of these board games I play actually really are. I love, the more complicated it is, the more I enjoy the board game. Even if I suck at it at the beginning. So, let's see, me and James are going to make you eat those words. I've already carved all the monsters and new one in Wilds. I'm just killing them for the lulz now. See? Yeah, you leave the heavy lifting to me and Tam King. It's okay, silly. You and James we'll just carry you on our backs. It's alright. It's funny because I haven't even gotten to play yet, so I'm behind as much as James is, but I still believe that my longsword will be superior overall. It usually is. And it was in the demo, or the first demo, when I didn't have to deal with the weird latency issue that was happening in the second demo, where my dodges seemed like they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. Because there is a bit of iframes in some cases. Some people were saying, well, there's no iframes in Monster Hunter. That's actually not true. There is iframes in Monster Hunter. It's very minuscule, and the window is extremely tiny, but it exists. And there's even perks to make that window bigger. So, that's what I'll probably be focusing this time around with the way they've changed things up. I can do a lot more damage than I could in World with the longsword, because the problem with the longsword, which is why I kept building damage for the longsword and crit, is because in World, the longsword is a little bit annoying. I will admit, even though I still prefer it over greatsword and anything else, it was way more annoying to be efficient with. It got locked into kind of certain builds and passives and skills. Kind of were the only things that really mattered to it. You couldn't really mix and match too well with the longsword. Whereas now in the new version, because we've got the focus mode and I can target my R2s better and get way more slashers off on the enemy on average, I can do more average damage, way more than I ever used to. So now I can build more control meets either damage or something else I might want. I don't know, we'll have to see. Damn it, have you unlocked the multi-monsters hunters? Because they give you a... Oh, yeah. He said there's definitely iframes, especially if you master the dive technique. Yeah. Some people are like, there's no iframes. You just gotta know where. I'm like, that's BS. And it's like, so... But, because I was experiencing latency, and I did look it up. There were a bunch of people who were complaining about having some weird latency issue in that second beta. The one that came out right before the game. I do think that beta was cursed. The game itself's not, but the beta definitely was. Alright, time to get people going, which will have more success. No, we can't do that tonight, Farseer. I haven't eaten. It's already 7:30. I gotta get off here, to be fair, right now in a minute. I just wanted to kind of finish that tutorial and kind of explain what we did in the game and show what we did in Scythe. Our next stream, we can talk about more about it if we want when we do another board game stream, if we want to shoot the breeze longer. I'll make sure I eat before the next one so we have more time to chill like we did last night. So that was fun. I did really enjoy that. I do kind of like that. Like, I think I'm going to make that majorly a thing. Since I play board games all the time anyways, I might turn our vlogs into kind of like board game vlogs. Where we get to play a game, but also chill and chat. People can join up if they want to join in on the board games for free. And I just invite them to the table. Things like that. I really like that idea. So I think we are going to start building towards something like that. So. Let's see. By the way, the fishing has you reeling and moving the bait. Oh! Well, Tamking will probably already has mastered that and is the 5-star champion fisherman of the village. Because that's what Tamking does in every survival we do. And I do love fishing myself. I'm not as good at it or play it as much, but... Because Steam told me, Sealy. You're friends with me on Steam, remember? Are you sure, Farseer, you want another 6 hours stream? Nope, Ardnot needs to eat. Yeah, if I didn't have to eat, we could start another. I could start looking for another game, and we could chill and chat. But I do have to eat, so. But we don't have time for that tonight. Not at the moment. You bet. I've done all the fish quests. Of course you did. Oh man, this is why I leave fishing to Tamking in most games that are survival based. I'll do it if he's not there, but he's the one you go to for that. I prefer hunting, technically, I actually think about it. Well, not in real life, because you can't go hunting in real life, but in simulation or survival games, I prefer hunting over fishing. Now, for chilling and just enjoying the peace, that's where I prefer fishing. I'm just enjoying like the sitting back and laying back. I'm probably gonna actually might try fishing North Atlantic tonight if I don't get drug into some more Scythe games. As I tend to play Scythe a lot right now. I'm looking for another game to try. I might try that Distilled game. There is a card game / board game in here I want to show off at some point in the stream. One of our little Blorg. I'm going to call them Blorg streams now, too. Because, it's basically a card game, board game about distilling different drinks and, like, beverages of, like, kind of, alcohol, like beers, wines, stuff like that. It's all card-based and combo-based. It kind of reminds me of a board game version of Brewery Simulator on PlayStation. And see, I have one quest left to do in Wilds, and it's to capture a star something endemic life that only appears very rarely, and the only way to catch it is to hit it with a screamer pod to stun it. Little bastard hasn't shown his face once so far. It must be pretty rare, yeah. That sucks. So those kind of missions are always a little bit tedious for me, and kind of somewhat annoying with Monster Hunter. I don't mind doing them in other games, but I do feel like in Monster Hunter sometimes trying to get the player to do this quest of, you must get this 5 massive large star endemic life form that's not a monster you hunt. You just gotta stun it and capture it. That part, just for me, for a monster hunting game, seems a little proliferous, but that's just me. I tend to do those missions when they just happen. Like, I don't tend to seek them out. Sometimes it works out better that way for me, because then I get lucky and it just happens. I'm like, oh, look, what's this? And just get the rarest thing in there when I wasn't even trying to get it. It's like, that's because, mostly because my OCD would get driven insane. If I was actively trying to get that creature and it wasn't showing up, it'd drive me bonkers. This is why I ignore certain objectives until I know there's just a point that that's all I've got really left to do, or just look out for it in the background so my brain doesn't become obsessed with it. Hence the OCD. That's why I tend to focus on main objectives to keep my brain distracted with stuff like that. Especially in games there's a lot of stuff to do, and survivals are like this with me. Most people probably wouldn't notice this when I'm playing because I tend to try to be as efficient as I can. But yeah, you don't realize how sometimes my brain wants to easily move to a different thing because of the OCD and ADD competing with each other. My distraction wants me to move. My OCD's like, no, you must finish. So it's like a warfare in my brain. I've learned to control it mostly, mind you. That's why you don't see much of that, or you don't really probably notice that too hard. It's through a lot of control and brain maintenance, and me just learning how to tell my brain certain things. I used to be on a lot of medicines for ADHD and OCD and LD and all that, but I'm not an avid person about medicines. I don't support that kind of thing. I don't think they're good for the body, and after I took myself off of those medicines it took a few years to get organized again and to get my brain to do what I wanted it to. But I did kind of, at least to myself, I'm not going to recommend this to anyone else. Everyone has their own choice in their own life and their own, what they prefer. So there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it proved to me, for my personal sake, it proved to me that these medicines are just, unless you're absolutely requiring it, and at least for me, just they'll make you worse off than making you better in most cases. Because I do better controlling it into today, in the last 4 to 5 years of my life, than I ever did when I was on those medicines when I was a kid. So, hindsight 2020. But that's why y'all don't see it as much happen, because I tend to focus and keep my brain going in a major direction. When it really kicks in, and this is why I love him to death, but this is why sometimes James drives me up a wall a little bit, and I love him, but it also helps me stay kind of in control, because it allows me to test and increase my limits on my issues that I have with that, is that James's chaos really tests that. Yeah. Most of the time I just let it go, and you'll notice I tend to go behind him and maybe clean it up slightly. But there are some cases where he's pushed that button a little too hard, and I'm like, James, freaking stop it. You'll see the most of that if you go back and look at our SnowRunner playthrough. Even though that game made him pay for that in a different karmatic way by destroying his save file. So ironically, karma's a bitch. But all jokes aside, yeah, that was the game probably the most I probably most got on the James here and there, because he would just always flip that truck over and dump that whole load out, and I'm like, ha. Is the also Tam King? What I miss? Good luck focusing on the main quest in KCD2. Yeah, that's why we haven't played that game yet, because that's going to require a lot more of my time. Because that game's going to notoriously... mostly because the main quest is going to be hard to differentiate. And I don't mean like recognizing it. Hard to differentiate from the side quests, because the side quests are almost just as important, to be fair, in KCD2. So that's going to make my brain go, ah! This is also what was that game we played? This is also an issue you noticed why, even though I love these types of games, this is my kryptonite. If I had to say one genre game that is my kryptonite, but I absolutely love this genre because I grew up with Final Fantasy VII, is role-playing games. Because you'll notice this in 7 as well. I got everything, right? Well, that's because my brain was like, it's not getting left behind. It's not going to allow that. Not in an RPG. Because I ingrained it in myself when I was a child through reactor after reactor training, after reactor training, after reactor training. By the way, that was... My ADD side of my brain absolutely hated me when I did that. It's like, please move on! Stop repetitive this now! Where my OCD side was like, yes! More power! So, you'll notice this even in the remake, even though I don't have to do the reactor thing as much anymore, that even when we did... The Tifa thing is what got me in that one. The Tifa minigame. We weren't moving on until I completed that minigame, and that minigame was created by the devil. so yeah, there's that. But anyways, nice, I'm already kitted out pretty decent with good armor. Let's see, what did I miss? The Robber Baron from the Blacksmith quest. See, yeah, the side quests in KCD2 are awesome, Farseer. I'm still pretty early in main quest line, and I'm 48 hours in. Wow. Is he the guy where his dog leads you to him lying unconscious, and I need to heal him? You can then repeatedly knock him out every couple of days and rob. Wow! The Robber Baron from the Blacksmith quest. Ah, different guy. He has full plate armor you can steal. Nice, I'm already kitted out pretty decent with good armor. Nice. But yeah, RPGs are kryptonite though. That's what I'll say to that before we go. I both love them so much, but they also test me the most. Like, you'll notice I never have this issue. Have you noticed we finished more series when they're first-person shooters and not RPGs, or when they're RTSs? In most cases. Some RTSs I on purposely just don't finish because the campaign's just too long, and we'd have to have like a whole month in some cases to beat all of those RTSs. Age of Mythology is exempt to that rule right now. We are going to beat the entire campaign of Age of Mythology, at least the original campaign. Now, whether we do the other 3 campaigns, I'm gonna let y'all decide that, and whether we decide to try to go forward with it in the background and let it slowly finish over time. Because that's another thing about RTS is I don't have to worry about my OCD and ADHD competing as much in that one. Because the ADD doesn't trigger in that one because we're doing so much different things. And the OCD is constantly pushing me forward to gather as much resources to win the fight. So in a way, that's a guarantee, that game. RTSs are like that with me. That's also why I tend to play more RTSs than anything, because that calms my brain. Or some sort of fishing / different games I can do different things. That's why I want to try the fishing Atlantic game, because there's different types of fishing. There's crabbing, there's lobsters, there's I think there's actually like a big game fishing thing, like harpoon type. I forget what it's called, but there's something like that. But there's a couple different things. But RTSs tend to be my go-to though for just chilling and calming my brain down, especially on a rough day like today, with what happened this morning and what's going on with Malix right now. So she's still laying over there. Yeah, and that's another thing I want to point out. Look how long that we've been streaming, chat. He's been laying on my bed with me, or not with me, but where I was laying for this entire stream. He has not moved. But, so that's on my mind right now. So, I'm distracted by that alone, and we won't be able to get him into the vet because the vet said they can't take him till Monday, and I'm like, oh boy. And he's a little worse off than I'm used to seeing him right now, and it's got me really nervous. So I'm hoping as long as he's still resting and he doesn't get disturbed too much, this whole weekend, he should hopefully be okay until we can get him up there. But what happened when he came back from the vet in the first place, I think he has some sort of allergy against the anesthesia. Because the last time, this is twice now, but this one's worse than the first time. It seems like twice now, when he's come back from a sedation that he had to have for like teeth work and other things they have to sedate him because he's part feral. He will not let no one else touch him that's not me or mom, unless you've known him for at least a week. He will scratch and claw and bite the absolute shit out of you. At least in a normal situation when he's not what he's like right now. So, they have to sedate him to do anything at the vet. So what I'm worried about now is if he has an allergy to the anesthetic medicine, that's gonna be a problem. Because he has to be sedated. So, and I don't know, and I can't think of anything else. He hasn't been outside. He has no injuries, no physical injuries. He did it that we can tell. So it's not that. It's definitely something internal, whatever it is. Which is kind of worse, to be fair. But so I don't know. I'm hoping like I said, we're just gonna try to basically get him through this weekend, let him chill wherever he's at. Like I said, he'll probably be laying on my bed for most of the rest of the night until I have to lay down. Then we sadly are going to have to move him. Then Mom's going to have to pick him up. He'll move if you move him. Then he'll go someplace, maybe get a drink of water. He's been at least drinking, which is at least somewhat of a good sign, just not very often. Basically, once to twice a day, he's getting water at best. And he's barely eating once a day right now, too, so... But I'm hoping maybe it's that. Maybe he's got a virus, like a stomach bug. Because Mom said he did have, I don't want to get too graphic, but he did have, bathroom problems, and the kind you don't want. The kind that doesn't keep you stocked up. I don't want to be too graphic, so I'm going to explain it in a nice way. The opposite of being clogged. So it could be a stomach virus of some sort or something he did eat. And it's caused some sort of bad problem with his stomach. And we just have to hopefully keep him and help him keep getting water and hopefully and keep him till Monday, like I said, so. Till Monday? That's goofy. They don't take Friday. Well, that's the thing. We called. They couldn't get him in Friday tomorrow. Because the doctor apparently, which is a terrible inconvenience, there's nothing that can be done about this, but the doctor apparently, his 2 kids are sick, so he couldn't come in tomorrow. And then we only have one doctor that really can handle him that's at this vet. Because it takes very few people and this is something most people don't know. It's a very sad state of affairs, but there's nothing on most people, it's just the way it sadly is. I don't agree with it, but it's the way it is. Most vets will not treat a partial feral cat. They won't. And the reason why that is because it's too much liability of their staff getting hurt. Which makes sense. Because they can get clawed, bit, scratched, and get a virus, blah, 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 anything. Bad injury, something. So this is why he has to be sedated for veterinarian visits. But the issue is only that doctor knows what his case is and is willing to basically do this. So because his kids are sick right now, he's not going to be there. That's what I meant to say. Tomorrow, so we have to wait till the beginning of the week before he'll be able to come back in. I just hope it's not a bad emergency, because I don't know what we're going to do if it is. So I really don't. I'm just going to hope and pray and just tell y'all, just send your love and support towards Malex, and we're just gonna try and just take care of him this weekend and get him to Monday. That's what I'm gonna do, because if I think about it too much, it's gonna make it worse. So I'm just gonna say what's gonna be all right. We're gonna take care of him, keep him comfortable, and he'll be all right. And we'll get to Monday, and then we'll call him and set up an immediate appointment and get him in there hopefully next day. He probably won't get him Monday, and it probably actually won't be till Tuesday, because we won't be able to get the appointment until we call. I might tell Mom maybe she can see if they'll let them, if they know if he'll make it back by like Tuesday, and just go ahead and schedule it for Tuesday or Monday now, if they know he's going to be there Monday. I don't know. I'll talk to Mom about that, see what she wants, see what she thinks. But who knows? It's like I said, right now it's just, it does suck. Let's see. If he's eating and drinking even a little, that's a good sign. When they refuse food and water, that's when you know it's pretty bad. Yeah, he's just not doing a lot of it. I mean, he is at least once a day so far. As long as it don't get worse than that, then I know we're at least in a safe zone where he's kind of got it under control, whatever's happening. Within his own body, at least, hopefully. Because that is right what Tam King says. It's more, it doesn't become truly an emergency until they fully refuse anything for almost for basically a whole day. That's bad. But the fact that he's still getting some drinks and still every now and then getting a little bit of food is still a good sign. So, but I'm gonna end it here, chat. We're gonna wrap this up so I can get food started. It is already 8 o'clock. It's not gonna be anything major, so I'm gonna try to make it pretty easy. Just something I can eat and just chill and watch a video or something. But especially if he's old. He's how long have we had him now? I don't think he's old. He's in his, I'd say he's getting to his middle years, but I don't think he's actually not that old. He's actually still pretty young compared to my previous cat, Kira. The one that was before him that passed away a long time ago. And Cora. They were, I don't think he's reached even nowhere near their age yet. I think he's still got a little bit, so at least that's also what I think he's got going for him, and I'm hoping that's what's helping, is that he's younger. Because he's a younger cat, he's still able to fight it a lot harder, whatever is happening. My only other worry is he has the same virus dormant in his body that Kira had. And when trauma happens, sometimes, I'm not going to jinx this, I don't think it's that, not yet, but when trauma happens, it can trigger that dormant virus to go active because the immune system weakened during the trauma and it wasn't able to keep the virus dormant, and the virus goes into active mode, and then it just degrades and basically eats away at the body. I don't think it's that. I'm not even going to even acknowledge that it's that, because he's still within that reason that I'm pretty sure it's something else at the moment. But it is still in the back of my mind of that hopefully that he gets over this too, because whatever this is also could be weakening his immune system. Like if he is sick with something that is not that could also technically cause more issues. So, it's the same reasoning of what happens if you got COVID, right? The COVID situation. If you already are sick, it can really ruin you. So it's the same difference, but it's like feline Luke. I think he has, yeah, it's feline leukemia is what it is. And our cats have mostly always had it dormant in them, because most feral cats or partial feral cats, even when they're only half, tend to have that virus in their genes. It just comes from the fact they're wild, and it hasn't been bred out or done anything with. So most of our cats have always had it, but most of our cats do tend to be pretty comfy and don't have to worry about triggering it in any way for most of their lives. But we had a very, and this is the last thing I'll say, we had a very shitty neighbor that used to live near us, and he would cause all kinds of problems. And I almost guarantee you, because that's why we had to get teeth work done on him, I can almost 100% guarantee there was a point in time somewhere a month ago, maybe even now, that he kicked my cat in the head and hurt and broke some of his teeth. Probably lured him in with food to trick him and then tried to stomp him or something. Because the injury didn't make sense for a car hitting him. If a car had hit him, he would have had more damage other than just his face. And it's like, so, and that man better pray to all that is the safety of this universe, that he never gets to be uncovered that happened and I never find out. Because then the venom comes out. And I will not hold back. Not if it actually did, especially if it ended up costing Malik's his life. Oh yeah. That gets paid, as they used to say in the old day, a head for a head. So, that's, Let's see. One of my dogs are past his breed usual expiration date, but I do get worried when he sleeps longer than usual. Yeah. He's maybe been out there taking part in the underground raccoon fight club, like Van Damme and Legionnaire. That would be funny. They call him Lionheart. That'd be funny. I'd be more agree, like, more. I know he does fight raccoons, but like I said, he doesn't have any raccoon wounds. Raccoons couldn't do some of the injuries he's ended up with recently. The original wound he had, like, at the end of last year, that was from a raccoon or a possum or something. Or another cat. Something got into his, like, neck a little bit. And we had to end up having to treat that and get it taken care of. But that was more definitely probably what Tamkin said. He was definitely got wounded in the fight. But the other one was definitely human. The second time, or the injury he has more recently that had to do with the teeth, that was human. A human did that. That was not an animal. Animals don't do impact damage. There's not big enough animals around here to do that. Not even dogs. I mean, there's no dogs big enough around, and even then, they wouldn't hit only his head. They'd grab him by the neck and, you know, other terrible things. But it's like an animal doesn't do those types of wounds or injuries. So let's see. Sealy said, "All I got is a guinea pig. He's a picky eater." Guinea pigs are cool. I think I used to have one or is it a hamster? I used to have a hamster or a guinea pig a long time ago. They are definitely very hungry creatures. They are very picky eaters, and they're very messy if you don't clean out their cage enough. You don't sound very picky if he's fat, Sealy! That's a good point, too. Sealy just feeds him only cake. He only eats cake. But either way. Alright, let me see what Sealy says real quick, or see what anyone else says before I go. I've seen what a pit bull can do. Yeah. Exactly. And pit bulls go for the throat. And it's like, so they go for the jug. So, like I said, it was definitely not an animal. It was definitely a human beast. I say that because only a human who is a beast could treat an animal or hit an animal like that. You've lost your humanity if you're at that point. You're not a human, you're a beast. You're no better than an animal and probably should be treated no better than either, to be fair at that point, if you're going to go around hurting other animals and other people. So, let's see, that's because I'm forced to give him what he wants or else he won't eat it all. Yeah, but if he eats part of it, that means he will eat it. He just wants you to give him the good stuff. It's called being a good parent, Sealy. You gotta, it's like the kid who won't eat their broccoli, right? They'll eat it if they get hungry enough. It's like, so sometimes you can't just give kids candy, you know. That just makes them not want to eat their food. It's the same principle with an animal. You give them too many good things, they're not going to want to eat the actual food that's supposed to give them their nutrition. So, you're the one who got him in that habit. He's like, he will never bend and he will never give in. He will always give me what I want. And now that's probably never going to go back because it's probably so deeply ingrained in that guinea pig's head now that now he has control. You will never get control back. He rules you now, Seely. He is the master. Or she, whichever it is. But, alright, chat. I need to wrap this up before I keep talking, just to try to get my mind off of things. That's why I'm still chatting, because I'm trying to distract myself. But, I hope y'all all enjoyed this stream. I'm gonna go get some food in me. Chill out for the rest of this night. Either play some fishing on the Atlantic game that Tim King told me about that I picked up on sale. Or I'm gonna just get back on Scythe. Or maybe another board game and play that. Maybe that distilled game and try it out. I'll have to see how I feel. But tomorrow, I'm not sure. I don't want to tell y'all what we're doing tomorrow because I'm actually not sure. Because I can't remember what day James told me he had off. So I can't remember if it's tomorrow or sometime this weekend. So I'm going to leave it up in the air. If James doesn't get to join up tomorrow, then we'll have a later night, a late night. I say late night because I usually have to run my errands on Friday. I'll have a later day Age of Mythology. Age of Mythology. That's if James is not here tomorrow. Or if he wants to do a single player thing on his own and do some more Simpsons hit and run or something. If he wants to do that, then I'll still do the same plan and I'll just do Age of Mythology since we didn't get to do it today. We will do it tomorrow if I don't have to do anything with James. Like if he decides he wants to do single player and not a multiplayer thing right now. So I'll talk to him about that when I see him. Or if he's working, then once again, we'll just keep with the plan I said before. So I'm glad to see there's a decent amount of, at least people jumping in and out right now. I kind of want this to do good because I want this to definitely be our vlog / we're just going to come here, enjoy some board games, chill together, talk about things, maybe join up and play together in some games as well with on this site and stuff like that. I do think that's what because doing vlog on PlayStation is a pain in the ass. I'm going to say that now. Doing a vlog on the PSN is and I can't do anything else in the vlog while we're doing the vlog, unlike on PC. This is why I'm going to switch my vlogs over to PC. Now this means I'll need a camera at some point to add face cam back in. So in the beginning we will have no face cams for the blorg. I'm going to call them blorgs now too. For the blorg streams we won't have face cams in the beginning because they're moving to PC. However, I will be getting one sometime this year. I don't want to give a certain time right now with everything going on, but and I'll try to incorporate it in the future so we can have my face on here too. And I'll probably use it for other games depending on what they are. The more highfalutin game, we're not going to use it because that's more of my video RAM, and we all know how little of that I have. So after that fiasco when we learned James's internet is terrible, my video RAM was a lie. So I can't push it too hard, and camera would add more to it. So we'd only be able to do BGA anyways using a face cam. So, but alright, chat. I want to give a big shout out to my moderator Farseer, Tam King, the Sir Seely himself, chilling in chat tonight, and everyone in the background chilling as well. I want to say thank you for joining us for another Blorg series episode as we checked out Scythe, basically Iron Harvest tabletop game. Now that I know they're in the same universe, just different wars, that is essentially what this is then. It's literally Iron Harvest tabletop game. Explains why I like it. But yeah, I hope y'all all enjoyed. The next one we'll check out will be at random. The next Blorg we do is either going to be a multiplayer one, or I'm going to let y'all decide again. Like, it's going to go back to chat deciding again in the next one, where y'all get to pick the board games we do, and hopefully, and hopefully we won't suffer too much painful incursions like that one time when we went under the sea to follow Sealy into this aquatic kingdom that we were absolutely got ruined in. But anyway, but that will be a chance, because I'm not gonna play unless it has a tutorial. We're not gonna read any of the long PDFs on stream, so it'll be up to fate to decide whether we get really boned. Let me reset chat one more time, make sure I don't miss any comments towards the end. Yeah, there we go, I thought so. Let's see. That's crazy, or not? GG, y'all. Sending prayers to Wee Malix. I missed to see. All that damage was the body. He gets pissed off at me. That's crazy, or not? GG, y'all. Sending prayers to Wee Malix. Hope he's better soon. It's a mail from his 2 punching bags. Ah, okay. My Basset Hound food bowl gets cleared out by the other dogs because I fed him too much table food. He's like, he's like, that's not my food, that's their food. He's like, I am human, clearly. I do wonder what that looks like from the animal's perspective. Let's see, by the way, Phasmophobia got its Bleasdale Farm rework. I heard about that. They added the new assets / areas, stuff for the ghosts to interact with. Ooh, okay. Well, then we need to get Lamito in there, get James in there, or whoever else wants to join. And we need to hunt some more ghosts then, sounds like soon. Sounds like the ghosts need my attention once more. Let's see, apparently they are going to go over all the maps with the same treatment. Ooh. Don't the PS camera work on PC? Yes, but I can't switch it back and forth. That would require me to have my mom constantly unplug and replug it back in to every device that I would use it with. And let's just say that ain't gonna happen. It'll be cheaper as far as convenience and making it easier for me to just get another one for my PC that works better. The one I got from someone I used to know a long time ago, it worked temporarily, but it ended up, OBS updated so much it stopped being compatible. So we're gonna end it here though. Hello. How's it going? Huh? Oh, then you're not ready right now, huh? She can't hear me. Okay, well, alright then. She said she's not ready at the moment.
What?
So you're not ready for me to finish up and get eating?
No.
Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe we should keep going. I think I'm gonna relax. I think I'll take this time. Well, and save the true Blorg discussions for the next one, because we could end up starting to talk and I could lose 3 hours and not paying attention, and she actually did finish her Zoom and I get in trouble. So we are still gonna end it, but turns out Mom's not quite ready yet. But let's see. He recently learned to eat his dog food every time we leave it out. Oh, that's good. Yeah, like I said, it's you have to treat it the same way you would your own if you were raising your own kid. You don't want to spoil them, because if you spoil them, it's gonna make your life way harder. 6 hour stream for the win. Yeah, that's what we could do if I started if we kept going right now, because she said she's not ready, but I think I'd rather err on the side of caution, since I do want to make sure I'm ready when she's done with her Zoom calls she's got going on right now. She's got to do. What do you call it? I want to make sure I'm ready to get in there and get food started when she's ready for me to eat. So, I worded that wrong. Worded what wrong? Oh wait, well you worded it wrong. Wait, what did you mean to say? You hear that, Tammy doesn't want to talk about theories and wacky adventures. Not yet. Not tonight. We just don't have time. I should still wrap it up and just play off camera. He eats his dog food. He eats his dog food every time we leave it out. Oh, every time we leave it out to Wendy's. Oh, leave out to Wendy's, so he gets his share. Without complaint. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of Basset Hounds are cool, though. I do like Basset Hounds. They're one of those, it kind of reminds me, well, I will say this before I go, it kind of reminds me of, was it Droopy is his name? They kind of remind me of him. Like, when you see them, they just look at you and they just walk through with their floppy ears, and you're just like... They're the most devious dog because they have the most power. Because they just look at you and go... And you're like, okay. Did you take it down the mine? Did you take it down the mine? What did you say? Wait a minute. I used to have a canary, but he died with no warnings after 2 years. That's true. That was a good reference. Tam King is right on that. That's what miners do. They use birds. It's to see if there's any carbon monoxide in the tunnel or not, because sadly the bird will die first because its lungs are smaller. So, like coal miners and stuff like that kind of have to do that. Now, I don't know if they do that now. They probably have meters for that now. But back in the old days, that's what they did. I think they were the red versions. I can't, because they needed to be able to see them. I know they were a bright color, because the miners had to be able to see them in the dark a lot easier to see if they were on the ground dead. Because that would tell them, oh shoot, this tunnel's filling with carbon monoxide. We need to get the hell out. But, guys, keep it talking. No. We're gonna wrap it up. Excuse me. Oh God, I'm coughing. We almost have him, Sealy says. When they're adults, they still look like an old man, but bigger. Yep, that's probably accurate. I could see a dark elf mind doing that. Every animal has to work in every human. And seal in this case. So yeah, she probably took the bird too. The worst part about it, he doesn't get a replacement one. He has to now go through the mines on his own. Careful, Celie, she'll take away your headlamp too. Then now, not only do you not have a warning to carbon monoxide, you can't see either. This is how accidents happen. He has a warning. That's as far as they're confined there. Sealy. You're indentured to live on the Dark Elf planet. Do you think she really can't find you? He has a warning. If the seal in front of him dies first. Damn. 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 Want to know a warning, brother? Here my warning. Craig's middle finger. Wait, but you have flippers, though. How would you do that? It's just one flipper. How would we tell what you're doing? How do we know you're insulting us or not just waving at us? Not. Love you, Sealy. Sealy got that Mickey 17. Yeah, he does. I didn't think about that, but we've kind of turned Sealy into... That movie is great, by the way. I want to see that movie so bad. We've basically turned Sealy into Mickey 17. He's the guy who sent you to the worst BS ever, and we just clone him if he doesn't make it. He doesn't know that, though. Don't tell him. That's my job. I'm the one that clones people. James don't know how to do that. James knows how to create shards of people, but not clones. Not an actual working biological clone. It's going to be mainly a mirror. Then how do you have a middle... The Ardnots added an extra one. That was probably... I don't know if I did that on purpose. That could have been a mutation in the cloning process. Oh well. But Tam King is right. We've turned Sealy into Mickey 17. He's gonna one day revolt and like unite all the clone seals against us. Which that's what that looks like. That movie's probably gonna be. It's gonna be about him making the other clones realize how stupid it is that we're just being used as just cannon fodder. James can only do feet for his OnlyFans. Don't make me send you to the deep purple mine. That's bad, very bad. You won't die. You'll wish you were in that mine. Yeah, that's a dangerous mine. By the way, did you know if you get bit by a seal or sea lion, you get something called seal finger? I did not know that. But again, you are a seal, so you probably would know this. I did not know that. I guess maybe it's a saliva thing. Maybe there's some sort of enzyme in their saliva that can infect us to cause problems in our body or in our skin. I don't know what it does, so I'm assuming there's some sort of skin-related thing from the wound. Involves necrosis of all fingers and eventually, yeah. So it's like almost, so that means in theory, there's a necrotizing enzyme inside the mouth of a seal. Which is kind of scary, actually, to think about. But it probably only reacts that way to us because we're that type of biological being that would be affected by it. Because nature is crazy. It looks horrible, oh, I bet. Any necrotizing type of anything is nightmare fuel. But anyways, alright chat, now I'm gonna wrap it up for real. I hope y'all all enjoyed. I do want to kind of get some rest tonight. So, it's a yes, so orcas did nothing wrong. I agree with that. Orcas did nothing wrong. Or do nothing wrong. Also make great VTubers. Sorry, I had to throw that reference out there. But it's a specific disease within the saliva, as you said.
it turns blackish purple. Orcas are terrible. They play ball with sharks. And well, sharks are awesome too. So I don't know what you're on about. Sharks are the best thing in the water. They are the most neutral but yet vicious, kindest creature in the water. Prove me wrong. I actually want someone to actually look at the facts on the shark and then look at some other facts on some other fish who don't eat as much people or other animals and tell me I'm wrong. Sharks are misunderstood. Like orcas bounce great waves like beach balls. But see, that's what I said. Sharks are misunderstood. They get bullied. Did YouTube just censor my free... Did it? What did you say? Yeah, I don't see anything. Other than when you said that. They clearly helping people by eating dangerous seals away from innocent seal clubbers. Yeah, that's a good point. That's what it censored? Well, that says a lot. Maybe you had two little O's and it recognized what the word was, but that says something. I wonder if he knows that. I'm telling you, there's some weird stuff in the world going on. It's just... So that's what... I don't find that coincidental at all. See, since I'm videoing, I'll say the anagram version. Yeah, something about inserting zeros gives you stank. Oh! Okay, maybe that might be. I could see why they might. I could see why they might censor that. But why did Farseer see it? How did you see it and I don't? I'm the owner of the channel. Anyways. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense, Tam King. I mean, yeah, definitely. Just yell it like Ashley does. He'll come. He'll come running. All messages, guys, it's working. Well, it's not. I was trying to figure out why it blocked Tam King. Because I don't like when it does that without my permission. I hate that that's the thing. That is so stupid. Let me decide. I even have the channel marked that it's not for kids, right? Permanently. So why the hell is it censoring adults talking like adults? I'm not even if I was a sponsored channel, sure, I'd want to turn that on, but I should have the option to turn that on and off. Which I don't, by the way. That's just the algorithm. But I should have the option to turn off the strictness or turn down the strictness of what do you call it? Of what it tries to block on its own. The bot, basically. Because I don't even have a bot on my channel of my own design. Not yet. So, that's also something I'm going to build once I get back into my AI thing. I'm saving it for that because I don't want my bot to be a basic bot. You're about to see one of the few YouTubers whose bot is going to be really overpowered for just being a moderator bot. Well, once I get it started. It'll mostly, I think, be for our Discord more than YouTube, to be fair. Because it'll be able to do more things in my Discord with it than I will be on YouTube. Like soundboards. Here's the theory. Here's the the grand scheme of the most comfortable way to make my streams do certain things that I want that I cannot do. Get my AI to do it. So, my brain's like, huh, why did I never think about that? This is why I wish I had kept to my guns when I was a kid. You know how ridiculously how many AIs I'd have right now? It'd be a lot. They'd be in different things, too. Blowfish, you say? See, if I fix it. Let's see. By the way, did you know dolphins get high off of blood? What? Not. Is that a thing? Are we sure that's real? If it is, that's freaking awesome. Although dolphins are jerks. But that's still awesome. People think I do find that phenomenon interesting. That people think dolphins are. It's because of all the movies. Was it Flipper? No, Flipper was the. Was it Flipper? Which one was the dolphin? Because there was a movie about a dolphin age ago that I think created this falsality about dolphins. It's real. Nation Geographic say. Oh, National Geographic say a part of them take hits and pass it around. What? So they tackle a. This sounds so strange when I'm about to say it out loud. So they're tackling a blowfish and basically just, here, take this. Look at this blowfish is great, man. Wow. And I thought dolphins couldn't make me dislike them even more. And see, remember YouTube didn't censor me saying stuff about, yeah, but you put periods in between. You cheated, Sealy. I'm not gonna say it, but you cheated, Sealy. The bot doesn't that's another thing. That's how you trick bots too. Unless they're programmed to recognize that kind of syntax. That's what I had to think of the right word. Unless they're programmed to recognize that type of syntax in the way it's laid out, they'll never see that. That's invisible to them. At least to a basic bot. You might not have. Maybe it was being lackluster that day. I do think the bot sometimes works more, and then sometimes it works less. YouTube's little, sorry about that, by the way, excuse me. YouTube's little moderator bot that's always in the background. I do think it may be even related. God, I stuttered there. It may be even related to like surfer feed, and what I mean by it is how many people are currently streaming at the same time. So if it's a lot, it probably spreads itself pretty thin. Wow. 12-player werewolf, need one more. Man, if we had time for that, I would accept that right now. Werewolves, by the way, that Wolf Among Us type thing. The thing where it's kind of like Among Us. It's actually the original Among Us game. It's the game that came before Among Us was created. It's basically the imposter. There's a werewolf in a village with 12 other players. You can have max of 13 players. 12 people are human, one person is a werewolf. And it's up to that werewolf to slowly but surely turn every single one of the other villagers into werewolves. Or kill them. It's their choice. So, depending on what they know or what they think they're going to be like. Don't you remember them? I know nothing. Sealy checks receipt. Ardna, you got distracted again. I did. I very much did. Alright then. I'm gonna get out of here, chat, before we end up actually doing what Sealy says. Because if I stay on here much longer, I'm gonna hit this start button and we're just gonna say screw it. So I need to get off here before I end up getting wrapped up. Thank you for reminding me, Farseer. This is why Farseer is head moderator. Because she's even my buffer to me. So, alright then. Then I'm going to wrap it up here. I want to say I've enjoyed, as always. This is becoming quickly my favorite type of stream to do. Excuse me, sorry. My throat's being a little weird right now, probably because I'm talking so much. This is becoming, before I go, this is the last thing I want to say, and a big shout out to everybody. I'm starting to love this the most. Not necessarily just the board game thing, but us being able to talk, basically chill and chat. But then we have something we can actually do in the background. Got some non-copyright, chill music going on. Just relax and just have the day. And I really love the counter to what we normally do that this is created. Because normally we're always high octane, RTS this, like Total War, Age of Mythology, or Doom, and things like that. So this is a good offset. I like that. So big shout out again to Sealy, Tam King, Farseer, and everyone in the background of chat. And Tam King said, GG y'all. And big shout out to Sealy as well. I hope y'all had a good one. And also, Sealy, if you wanna like join on here and jump in for some board games, just hit me up on Steam, and or join the Discord. Join the Discord chat in the Guardian Corps, and I'll hop in. If you wanna do some board games or something, you don't need to do Monster Hunter. You've killed enough monsters. Not as many as Tam King, but you've killed enough monsters. But CR not. By the way, Sealy, Mitsusuni, I think I said that right, is coming to Wilds. Oh! Yeah. The Bubble Dragon, right? Yeah. I don't know its name either. And I don't even know if I said it right with the way Tam King even spelled it. I don't even know how to pronounce that right. But either way, but yeah. Y'all have a good one. And like I said, Sealy, if you want to join up and just chill and chat or play some board games with me, then definitely jump into the Guardian Corps chat and Discord, and I'll jump in. Or send me a message on Steam to let me know. Or something like that. Or Discord or whatever. So it's up to y'all. But thank y'all so much. Big shout out to everyone. And I will see you all tomorrow for either Age of Mythology or something with James. So, not sure what that is yet, but something with James and Darius most likely together, all three of us as usual. So, we shall see what happens. But peace and love, and thank you to everyone out there watching. And until next time, I will see you soon. And have a good morning or good evening.